Earlier this season, the Pittsburgh Passion made the drive to Motown and defeated the Detroit Dark Angels 35-16. Tonight, it's a different ball game with much more at stake. The winner gets one of the two coveted berths in the national championship game in Colorado. Hello and a very pleasant good evening to you. Chris Shublin with Jennifer Cairns, former Pittsburgh Passion star. We're here in a little bit of a drizzle at Imperial at Joe P. McCaley Stadium tonight as the Pittsburgh Passion gets set to take on the Detroit Dark Angels. Well, Pittsburgh brings a high, flashy, finesse type of offense and a very stingy defense into this ball game. They're going to take on a Detroit team that has a run-first mentality, but they ball hawk on defense.
Yeah, very true, Chris. These teams are both formidable in their own right, but I believe it's going to be a defensive matchup tonight. And these Pittsburgh fans certainly know that their Passion defense can step up to that task. I mean, a couple weeks ago against New York, we saw what these ladies are made of when their backs were against the wall with game-winning goal line stands and key turnovers that got them to this point this far. And let's face it, this is the game that punches their ticket to the ship. They're ready to play.
That's what they're looking for. The ring is the thing, no doubt about it. Let's take a look at our keys to victory tonight, brought to you by UPMC Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider to the Pittsburgh Passion.
Well, Chris, I was thinking about this one, and then a song hit me on the way home, Moves Like Jagger, that I couldn't get out of my head, that I thought, you know what, the Passion need a mantra, and today that mantra is Hit Like Damon. She was a beast against New York, laying the licks down, bringing that win home for the Pittsburgh Passion. And so the defense across the board need to bring that fierceness. They need to have quick reads, run through the aggressor, not just to it, and tackle low, and they will bring home the win.
All right. Speaking of Hannah Damon and our players to watch in this ball game, let's bring in both Hannah and Tanisha Spencer right now. Our pregame interviews are brought to you by In Motion Bodyworks, the official massage therapist of the Pittsburgh Passion. Jen, you started talking about Hannah. Let's go with her first.
Yeah, I should let you know that I said the mantra for today's game should be Hit Like Damon, because last week against New York, it was just powerful to see you in action. Let's talk about what you do to prepare for a game to be able to come out with such fierceness.
Well, in practice, we're always trying to, play at game speed, always prepare at game speed so that we are ready at the game and we're ready to play just like that. And we've always been practicing, their offenses and, preparing to see what they're going to do. So we're seeing how we're going to react to that, and we'll see how it goes today.
Tanisha, 7 interceptions on this season, and some of them have been absolutely dazzling picks. Let's talk about what you're looking for out there in the defensive backfield.
I'm looking just to cover my field and help my defense out, so that's it.
You're up against a quarterback tonight that has thrown 6 interceptions. So that's got to make you excited to keep an eye out for whenever she airs that ball.
It is what it is. Go Passion!
What makes this team so hungry to get to that championship game, Hannah?
I think we just all have that connection that, we all just want to play together, and no matter what the stakes are, we all just want to be out there and playing together. So Golden, Colorado or not, we all want to be here, and we all want to be playing with each other.
All right. I know you want to get back with your teammates and get warmed up. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hannah Damon and Tanisha Spencer of the Pittsburgh Passion. Jen, these are 2 spectacular defensive ball players.
Yeah, and it's going to come down to defense again tonight. So I imagine that we're going to be up in those stands in drier conditions, calling their name and numbers, and hopefully bringing home a win for the Passion.
All right, the Passion and the Dark Angels. Right around the corner is kickoff time. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, may us all please rise and remove our hats. As singing tonight's national anthem is Samantha Jo Skokot. She grew up singing in her high school choir, her church praise and worship team, and singing the national anthem for local events. She's a floral designer and artist specializing in hand lettering and painting. Sam enjoys fishing with her fiancé RJ and spending time with her stepson Gage and their 2 dogs. Please give Sam your fullest attention as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes hang bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say touch that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, your officials for tonight's game: Mark Brandanetti, Jerry Lavelle, Anthony Manco, David Truffa, and Kevin Rumbaugh. Also, tonight's coin toss honoree is Robert Hutchinson. Hutch served 11 years in the U.S. Army. He then went to work at the VA hospital as a police officer.
Once again here at Joe P. DiMichela Stadium in Imperial, Pennsylvania, on the outskirts of Pittsburgh in the West Hills of the Steel City. It is the National Conference Championship game between the Pittsburgh Passion and the Detroit Dark Angels. Chris Shovlin, former Passion star Jen Cairns, we're here at the stadium tonight. What started out as a drizzly evening has started to clear just a little bit, but weather could be a factor here tonight, Jen.
It absolutely could. I mean, it was pouring there for a long time, which you just thought nobody's going to be able to have grip on the ball. But both of these teams have seen weather like this before. Certainly the Passion have, and come up with the win in past games, and so they're ready for anything.
Absolutely. Coach Hutch out there on the field for the coin toss. Brought to you tonight by these Angels Among Us. We're here for the Fur Kids. No kids left behind. The officials out there witnessing the coin toss right now as Detroit and Pittsburgh get set to do battle for the second time this season. Pittsburgh defeated Detroit the first time around 35-16 in Motown. The Dark Angels also lost to Columbus. Otherwise, they have a 7-win, 2-loss slate. Pittsburgh also 7-2, lost both of its games to the DC Divas.
And DC being that Division I team that is a high-quality team, high-caliber team, and took us down to the final seconds of the game that the Pittsburgh Passion almost walked away with the win. So certainly held their own there.
Both teams huddling up, taking their final huddle on the sideline before tonight's ball game tonight. Jen, in our UPMC Sports Medicine Keys to Victory, I know that we were talking about the fact that Pittsburgh has a little bit of everything. It can run, it can throw, most importantly, and it has a finesse offense. Defense is very stingy, but Detroit is run first offensively, and they ball hawk on defense.
They do. I mean, they have, you know, a couple of players on their team have multiple interceptions and turnovers for the year. When they do air it out, they're a little shakier than Angela Baker, and the quarterback for the Dark Angels has 7 interceptions thus far, 6 interceptions thus far this season. And so those defensive backs for the Passion are going to be looking to hawk the ball themselves.
Alicia McGowan will kick off for Pittsburgh. The kick will travel left to right. Pittsburgh in its home black and gold. Detroit wearing the road jerseys, the white tops with red numerals, black trim, red pants, and black helmets. They fake the reverse on the kickoff return, and Casey Cunningham gets sliced down at the 38-yard line.
It looked like it was number 9, Rebecca Airgood. Lakeitha Barrett also in on the tackle.
First down, Detroit.
Detroit will have the first offensive touch in the ball game this evening after Cunningham's return. First down and 10, Detroit, ball sitting at the 38-yard line.
Interesting enough, Detroit takes the play call from the sideline.
Maggie Hudkins is their quarterback, 394 yards passing this year with 7 touchdowns, but with 6 interceptions. And of course, that has Tanisha Spencer licking her lips tonight. She has 7 picks on the year.
That's right, and you know, she's just looking to add to that count here tonight.
Tight stack on the right side of the line for Detroit. They tighten up offensively, and here comes Cunningham, breaking one off the right side. She'll turn the corner and get the first down and a little bit more as she's run out of bounds near the midfield stripe, cutting in for a 12-yard gain. Tatiana Pauling running that football. She has 1,481 yards on the season, 16 touchdowns, and she also has 6 catches and 2 touchdown receptions. So Pauling showing her stuff on that first down play.
It'll be second down and 1.
Now they're going to say she stepped out just shy of the
Also,
stick.
ladies and gentlemen, there is a car with an Ohio license plate, Fox 4886.
So the chain gang has to readjust.
Again, Ohio license plate, Fox 4886.
They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line. It'll be second down and 1. They say Tatiana Pauling stepped out of bounds over on that far side. Here's Hudkins giving off again. Little stutter step move and a blast in the backfield. Niedermeyer making a big hit for Pittsburgh, chopping the running back down. Kim Zabovic was also there.
Yeah, Niedermeyer first to meet the ball. Kayer strips the ball. Zabovic comes over quick to finish off the job, but Detroit, luckily for them, falls on the ball.
Caitlin Niedermeyer, one of the top defensive players in all the WFA, 56 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, all those regular season numbers. Not counting what she did against New York 2 weeks ago. Loss on the play makes it third down and 3. Snap in the pistol, and look, Devin Connor comes in there and blasts the running back, Taylor Russell, and knocks her down. And that will stop Detroit in a big, big way.
Devin Connor comes through the B gap with a fire lit on her soul, and she just hits the running back and drives her backwards.
It's going to be fourth down and 9. And Pittsburgh will drop 2 receivers back deep.
Diamond Rodriguez and Ellie Malarski.
Amanda Cole's in there on that big hit with Devin Connor. Here's a looping snap to the punter for Detroit. She gets the ball away, and it angles to the near side. Malarski will take it on the bounds at the 25. Up at the 30, makes a cut, and drives forward near the 40-yard line. She's wrapped up and spun down by Michaela Hilton of Detroit.
Yeah, and you may have heard the crowd react to that hit, but it's not because the hit that the Passion player took. It's because of the hit she delivered. Malarski knocked number 8 out of her cleats.
First quarter action brought to you by Aid Nation. Maximum absorption for super hydration. Chris Shublin, Jen Cairns on the call tonight here in the West Hills of Pittsburgh. It's first down and 10, the Passion with their first offensive possession. Angela Baker was slated to be a wide receiver this year, but she's gone at quarterback all season long due to the illness of Ebony Montgomery, who just was cleared to play in the first playoff game this year. Here's a sweep, and running the football will be Ariel Smith. Smith won't be able to find anything. She'll be trapped for a loss of 1.
Ariel Smith with the carry.
Detroit defense snuffing that out early.
Tackled on the backfield by Jackie Bennington and Diana Lunaway.
Jackie Bennington, one of the toughest tacklers in the WFA as well, leading the way that time. Second down, a little more than 10 now for Pittsburgh. Baker has 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left. Sends Smith out of the backfield to empty the set. Baker pumps, runs. Angela Baker fumbles the ball forward and is recovered by Detroit, but is she ruled down? Let's see. The officials are going to say her knee touched and the ball is ruled dead.
Angela Baker was looking immediately from when that ball popped out to say, I'm down, and lucky for the passion she was.
Brings up 3rd down and 4.
Solid gain by Angela Baker.
Good hard hit by Detroit. We told you they bring the punishment on defense.
Absolutely. Both these defenses are full of heavy hitters, both showcased on this first series.
Jana Meister out wide to the left side for Pittsburgh. 3 receivers to the right. Courtney Bender is the widest one nearest to the boundary line as Baker rolls to the right. Blocking breaks down, and Baker somehow stays alive to throw downfield. And the ball goes incomplete. She was aiming for Courtney Bender down the near sideline.
Baker getting heavy heat from Bennington and Hilton.
And it's 4th down and 4.
That brings up 4th down, Jen. Already, this is turning into a defensive game early on.
I mean, Passion got off to a slow start 2 weeks ago against the New York Wolves, but they're facing a much tougher opponent this week, and that was just a good defensive stand by the Detroit Dark Angels.
Pittsburgh needs another member of the special teams to get out there, and Ariel Smith comes out to block for Jana Meister, who will punt the ball away. Good snap. Meister steps into it, bangs one tall downfield. And coming to the near side is Cunningham on the return, 25-30 up the sideline, makes a cut in, and gets wrapped up from behind and dragged down on the play. The initial hit made by Lakeitha Barrett of Pittsburgh.
Lakeitha Barrett doing a wonderful job sandwiching in between another Passion defender, Ariel Smith.
The Dark Angels take the ball back at the 40. 1st and 10.
1st down and 10 for the Detroit Dark Angels. Ball sitting at the 40-yard line. Dark Angels head coach is Keith Thomas. From that far sideline, they made the trip down from Detroit to play in this National Conference Championship game. The winner gets to play either St. Louis or Mile High in the national title game, which will be played in Golden, Colorado at the Colorado School of Mines in a couple of weeks. Tight formation. Hudkins go under center. And bouncing it to the right side is going to be Pauling once again. Same play they ran on 1st down, this time not quite as successful, as she's dragged down by Kim Zabovic and Kaylee Bowden.
Pauling and Cunningham thus far both showcasing their speed when the ball is in their hands.
Pick up a 3 yards on the play. Maggie Hudkins, the quarterback out of Flint, Michigan, goes to the sideline, brings the play in. Kara Gentile is the center, comes out of the huddle first. Gets over top of the football on 2nd down and 7. Double wing set. And that ball looked like it was on the ground for a second. Hudkins picked it up, tried to run with it. It may have been a broken play. And she'll lose those 3 yards that they gained on the initial down.
Yeah, I mean, those little things are going to be crucial throughout this game. I mean, you saw Passion already had one miscue with not having enough special team personnel on the field. Bobbled snap here by the Detroit Dark Angels. Costly.
Third down, a little less than 10 to go for Detroit. The ball sitting just over the 40-yard line. They have 2 tight wing players on the left. Here's a toss sweep. Bouncing it to the outside. Near side run is Pauling, and Pauling again comes to the boundary line but steps out. And it appears she has the first down and does at the 50-yard line.
She does, and it looks like it was Willis for the Pittsburgh Passion who was able to just squeeze her out of bounds, but not shy of the first down.
Fontima Willis, number 79, linebacker, native Pittsburgher. The Passion give up the first down. Detroit moves the chains. Ball sitting with the nose of that football on the midfield line, right between the two hash marks. No score in this ball game. It's been a defensive battle so far. Almost midway through the first period of play. That's some tough hitting inside as Pauling tried to run that football in tight quarters this time. Check that, not Pauling rather, but Lisa Gomes rushing the football. She had 381 yards and a touchdown during the regular season, but Hannah Damon put the wood to her that time.
She did, and she had some help there by Willis as well to start pushing the PAL backwards. You could hear the collision from up here.
Coming out for the Dark Angels.
Dark Angels are very content, Jennifer, to just try to power the football ahead. They don't really have a passing game to speak of for the most part. They can throw when they need to, but usually it's when they have to. They'd rather run the football and keep it on the ground and grind it out.
Yeah, and they're effective at it, and it wears defenses down, especially defenses like the Passion who are somewhat undersized but speedy.
And speaking of speedy, how about Pauling and the speed she shows? And again, she cracks one to the outside and comes to a sliding halt down near the 40-yard line. And again, moves the chains, has the first down.
It's enough for a Detroit's first down.
That compressed set really squeezes the defensive backs in to where then when that speed hits the outside, they're not able to match it.
Pauling tried to make that little extra cut. She saw Damon coming, lost her footing. Otherwise, she might have gone a little further downfield. It's first down and 10. Detroit with a football at the Pittsburgh 40. No score with 7:17 to go here in the first quarter of play. The first quarter, again, being brought to you tonight by Aid Nation. Maximum absorption for super hydration. Again, the tight set. This time they work with some H-backs. And it's going to be a quick opener, but nothing is there, and Pittsburgh reads it well. And again, it looks like the ball might have squirted out, but the whistle had blown. And Gomes couldn't find anything in some tight quarters. Again, Amanda Coles was down in there, and coming out of the backfield, Diamond Rodriguez out of the secondary.
Diamond Rodriguez coming in hot, meeting the ball carrier first. I think she might have been the one to jiggle the ball loose. Heard all sorts of whistles before they could start fighting for it at the bottom of the pile.
Amanda Coles has come up with 3 fumble recoveries during the regular season. She wanted one here tonight in the playoffs as well. Got close, but the whistle blew. Second down and 10 now for Detroit. Pauling will be the only deep back. Everybody else is scrunched on the line of scrimmage. Huckins draws the snap, fakes it, goes inside with a reverse. A little counter play, and the run gets chopped down that time. Leanne Took was the runner, and Connor was there.
Yeah, Connor was not fooled by the misdirection. Amanda Coles in on the play.
Beautiful misdirection play by Detroit that time, but Pittsburgh stayed home and played it smart. That's one thing about this brand of football, the WFA, and Pittsburgh in particular down through the years has been so cerebral in its play.
Very disciplined, and you have to be, especially against an opponent like this that is going to stay in one formation but run a lot of things, different things out of it, different looks.
Huckins will adjust her receiver, Tansey, over to the left side, but there's going to be a timeout call, and I think Detroit knew it was taking a little too much time. So the Dark Angels call timeout with 5:14 to go here in the first quarter of play. There is no score between the Pittsburgh Passion and the Detroit Dark Angels. And again, there is a lot up for grabs in this ball game tonight. The loser goes home and packs the uniforms away, and that's it for the season. The winner gets to go to Colorado, to the mountains, in 2 weeks to play for the national championship.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that Detroit lost to Columbus in the regular season, but beat them in the postseason. Detroit lost to Passion in the regular season and are showing up much tougher thus far in the first early parts of this game. But both teams fighting hard to try to get to Golden.
Tonight's ball game being brought to you in part by UPMC Sports Medicine, the exclusive sports medicine provider of the Pittsburgh Passion, by In Motion Bodyworks, the official massage therapist of the Pittsburgh Passion. These angels among us, we're here for the fur kids, no kids left behind, and by Silver Sport, keeping sports clean. Maggie Hudkins will drop back into the pistol now. High snap, controls it, able to get it off to Pauling, and Pauling is stripped down in the backfield.
Excellent defensive play by Devin Connor, who just tracked her down. Looked like Hudkins might have had a step on her, but she gets one arm on the jersey and with pure strength just pulls her down.
Devin Connor has played well on both sides of the ball for Pittsburgh this year. She had a 45-yard interception return for a touchdown and a 60-yard touchdown reception versus New York in that first playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, back and forth, her and Damon were like their own individual highlight reels last week against New York.
Detroit will be forced to punt. Or will they? Ah, they're going to run that football, Lisa Gomes. And she takes off and tries to run with it. And gets blasted. She doesn't make it back to the stick. And Hannah Damon chopped her right out of her boots. Over on the far side of play at the 35-yard line to prevent her from going downfield further. So Pittsburgh will take over at the 35.
Hannah again coming up clutch. I mean, it was just such a precision and well done hit to save the first down.
Pittsburgh back on offense. First down and 10 for the Passion. The ball sitting at the 35-yard line. Looks like Ebony Montgomery has come in to play quarterback now. She'll take the snap, throw one out. There's Angela Baker, the starting quarterback, who makes the catch, breaks a tackle, and Angela Baker holds on and rushes out to about the 44-yard line.
Little trickery going on there. Nice to see Ebony throw her first pass. We got to see her a little bit against the New York Wolves, but she only handed off the ball late in the game.
See if Pittsburgh has designs on using both QBs here tonight. Angela Baker, of course, as we said at the top of the broadcast, penciled in as a starting wide receiver. She was an all-pro wide receiver, but they put her in at quarterback this year because Ebony Montgomery was not cleared to play. Now she is, and she's in the lineup for Pittsburgh, and she'll take another snap. Play fake. And a little toss to Baker, who's going to throw it downfield for Jana Meister over the shoulder. Catch, makes a grab, and then tumbles out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
Angela Baker waited to the split last hair of a second to release that ball to give Jana Meister just one extra step on the defender. What an amazing toss and catch. 30 yards, first down.
First and 10, Pittsburgh from the 31-yard line. 3:09 to go here in the first quarter of play. First big play offensively by either team here tonight. Meister will stay on the left side. Pittsburgh using Courtney Bender and Crystal Kozo, wide receivers to the right. Devin Connor stays in to play the H-back role. And now Ariel Smith will try to run the football straight ahead, and she gets bounced over backwards. A hard hit that time off the line by Michaela Hilton. And we have an injured Dark Angel. Trainers will be called out, so we'll step away for a second. We have 2:45 left here in the first quarter of play. It's Pittsburgh nothing and Detroit nothing. The Passion on the move, and you're watching Pittsburgh Passion Television and the WFA playoffs. Injured ball player for Detroit, Keontae Carter, the linebacker from Eastern Michigan and the Detroit native, and she's being assisted by the training crew that made the trip with the Dark Angels.
Yeah, she's barely putting any weight on those legs. I don't expect to see her back in for the rest of this game.
Pittsburgh getting set to gear up. after no gain on the first down play. Angela Baker will go back behind center once again into the pistol formation. Devin Connor is her H-back off to her right. She brings a running back in behind her to play tailback. That's Kia Foster. Here's Baker off the pump fake, sends it. Connor, and a perfectly timed hit by Danielle Kearse. Knocked the ball away from Devin Connor and knocked Connor for a loop.
Yeah, Connor slow to get up, hit straight in the bread basket as her arms are outstretched over her head to catch the ball. Upon contact, the ball comes flying out, but she never had possession.
Connor again slow in getting up, but appears to be okay as the UPMC sports medicine staff attends to her. Again, she was kind of wide open. Just opened up her body trying to make that grab, and a perfectly timed hit by Kearse, a clean hit.
Very clean hit.
Fanica Payne will come in Connor's stead. Pittsburgh goes 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left. Baker rolls right, looks, pumps, throws to the post, and this one is going to be picked off. It was intended for Crystal Kozo, but it was intercepted by Clarissa Tullis, and Tullis shuts Pittsburgh down as Detroit gets the pick, and Tullis' return comes to the 20-yard line.
Saving that is 77 Caitlin Niedermeyer, who was out there making the tackle, who had bounced off 2 or 3 other Passion defenders after the interception.
And Tullis, one of the top defenders for Detroit. Not only did she have 72.5 tackles during the regular season, but she intercepted 3 passes, returned 1 of those for a touchdown. So Detroit takes over at its own 20. Pittsburgh goes back on defense in this defensive battle with 2:10 left in the first period of play. No score on the board. Archangels with the ball, and Gomes will be the runner. Gomes will try to carry it straight up the gut, and she'll find about 5 yards on the play before she's run into by Rebecca Aragood and also Caitlin Niedermeyer.
6-yard pickup, 2nd down and 4.
Niedermeyer is one of our leading tacklers on the Passion defense. She had 56 tackles, 9 for a loss in the regular season, 3 sacks.
Gain of a little more than 5 for Detroit. Gomes on that first down run. Hudkins goes into the pistol. High snap, she controls it. Gomes again will run it. And Gomes will cut off the right tackle spot and gain about 3 more, maybe 4. And Niedermeyer was there at her legs to bring her down.
Damon and Niedermeyer combined for the stop.
Coming down to the final minute of the first quarter of play. Pittsburgh 0 and Detroit 0 here in the National Conference Championship game. Winner gets to go to Golden, Colorado to play in the national title game. And they'll meet either the St. Louis Slam or the Mile High Blaze at the Colorado School of Mines in Golden. That'll be on July 13th. Here's a sweep, run to the right side. Pauling with a head of steam, and Pauling with a first down and much, much more as she slips her way up to the 39-yard line.
There's some penalty flags on the play.
It's going to be holding against Detroit, so that run is wiped out. The call was made right at the line of scrimmage, so they'll mark it back 10 yards, a spot foul. And Detroit will be backed up to its own 19.
Ball is backed up to the 19-yard line. 3rd and 1, just turning.
It'll be 3rd down and 11. Huckins again goes into the pistol. Pittsburgh showing blitz. Detroit is going to throw over to the far side right, and that ball is caught but out of bounds. Incomplete, the ruling, as the catch was made out of bounds, so that brings up 4th down and long for Detroit.
On the coverage there was number 40, Crystal Kozo, who just kept squeezing her towards the sideline as she came out of the backfield to run her route.
Just 14 seconds remain in the first period of play. No score between Pittsburgh and Detroit.
Cunningham the punt. Back deep, Rodriguez.
Casey Cunningham will punt. Stands at her 8. Big rush coming, and she steps up and bangs the ball tall. Diamond Rodriguez muffed the punt, however, and it comes loose. And Detroit has recovered.
Rodriguez can't handle the punt, and it's recovered by Detroit at midfield. Michaela Hilton.
Michaela Hilton recovered the muff punt as Rodriguez looked straight up into the sky trying to field that one, muffed it, and Hilton was able to cover.
Yeah, she was looking straight up. She was running forward, trying to get underneath it. And, you know, it's wet out there, but it's wet out there for both teams, and it just slipped through her hands and took a lucky bounce towards those white jerseys.
7 seconds left in the first quarter of play. Detroit gets a fresh set of downs, and they move 31 yards forward. Leanne Took is the flanker over to the far right side as they try to open up that offense just a little bit, but instead they'll keep it on the ground inside to Lisa Gomes. She steps forward for a couple of yards, and that will end the first period of play as Hannah Damon makes the tackle. After one quarter, here in Pittsburgh tonight, the Passion 0, the Detroit Dark Angels 0. With Jen Cairns, I'm Chris Shublin. You're watching Pittsburgh Passion Television and the WFA National Playoffs. Start of the second period of play. Detroit will have it 2nd down and 7. And the Dark Angels trying to fight for forward progress on a straight drive up the middle. I'll tell you what, they have some tough running backs, don't they?
They do. Well, they've got some really tough blockers ahead of those running backs. Just open up these crazy large gaps.
Tatiana Pauling running the football that time. She had Elisa Davis running interference for her up the middle. Also up front, Kimberly Felder Foster. They're able to take up a lot of space and push people forward. Cara Gentile is the center. Going out wide left is Michaela Hilton. Coming to the right side is the flanker Taylor Russell. High backfield this time behind Huckins. 3rd down and 5. Give will go to Pauling. Pauling with a 1st down and more. Pauling hit by Damon, bounces off and keeps going. And Pauling finally comes out of bounds over on the far side inside the 5-yard line.
She just sidestepped Rebecca Aragood, who was flying out of the secondary to come up and try to make the hit behind the line of scrimmage, and then there was just no one there to bring her down as Hannah Damon, Crystal Kozo chasing.
First and goal from the 4.
Detroit will have it first down and goal to go from the Pittsburgh 4-yard line on a great run down the sideline by Tatiana Pauling.
They capitalize on that bunch set, maximizing the speed of their back to the outside because there's nobody back deep is that safety.
Gomes is the fullback. Pauling is the tailback. Huckins goes under center this time. First and goal to go from the 4. Pauling. And Pauling blasts down near the 1-yard line, and the ball comes squirting out, and Pittsburgh picked it up. The ball came out.
Lost the ball.
Pittsburgh looks like it has it, and it looks like the Passion recovered in the end zone. Talk about defense, Jen.
You saw the referee note that the ball hit the ground, but we couldn't tell where it is, and then Pittsburgh showing you exactly the grit and tenacity that they have, just like they did against the New York Wolves, like back against the wall, these goal line stands. Just amazing. Well, there you go. Diamond Rodriguez, the Passion player responsible for giving the ball to the Detroit Dark Angels, is the Passion player responsible for getting that ball back.
Not sure who made the hit on Pauling at the goal line, but the ball came squirting out. It might have been Hannah Damon who hit her at the goal line, and then it was Diamond Rodriguez indeed who picked it up in the end zone and started running with it, and that's a touchback as she was tackled in the end zone, so Pittsburgh has it. First down and 10 to go from their own 20-yard line, and they're going to go the other way. Just underway in the second period of play. Defensive struggle here in the city of Pittsburgh tonight. Angela Baker back in at quarterback, gives to Kia Foster a big hole right up the middle and a quick opener blast. And she drives it ahead until Clarissa Tullis trips her up.
The first sign of life on the Passion run game thus far in this game. Nice pickup.
9-yard gain. Kia Foster.
Hear the Passion crowd spurring their ladies on.
Foster, the lead back yardage-wise as far as the running backs are concerned, but actually Angela Baker has more rushing yards than Kia Foster does this year. She also leads the team in passing, of course, and right now it's going to be a toss. Foster, a little high stepping down the near sideline and was able to jump over Leanne Toop, but gets the first down.
Very nice patient option play there, just getting the pitch off at the right time for Foster to be able to pick up the first down.
First down and 10, Pittsburgh. Ball sitting at the 32-yard line. Ellie Malarski comes in to play wide receiver. She's over to the right side with Crystal Kozo in the slot. Jana Meister is wide to the left side. Kia Foster, the running back behind Angela Baker. Now Baker moves Foster up out of this backfield. Baker's doing a check with me. She's going to change up the play. Nobody's open. Angela's going to tuck and run. And comes to the sideline near side. That was almost a dangerous late hit by Crystal Krepp.
Yeah, it was just a hair in time, but it's a costly penalty that Detroit cannot stand to gain.
Baker will pick up 2. Second down and 8 for Pittsburgh. Ball at the 34. 11:38 to go here in the second quarter of play. Chris Shovlin with Jen Cairns on the call here tonight. Pittsburgh Passion Football in the second quarter, brought to you by Green Tree Sportsplex and Fitness Center, the official indoor home of the Pittsburgh Passion. Three to the left, 1 to the right this time for Baker. Off the rollout, she'll throw to the sideline, and Jana Meister keeps both feet inbounds, makes the grab, the 42-yard line, And she appears to be shy of the first down, or is she?
No, I saw the line judge saying first down, but where he's standing didn't make it seem like it was, but he was letting his fellow judges and chain crew know.
Keith Thomas, the head coach of Detroit's questioning it too. He's not going to win that battle. Instead, Pittsburgh will have the first down. They do move the chains. Slots to both sides now for the Passion. Ariel Smith comes back into play running back. Baker will follow her block and call her own number. There goes Angela, and there goes another Pittsburgh first down in the record books. An 11-yard gain.
Baker reading the defense. Baker also reading that Detroit seemed a little unsettled and was not yet positioned. Well-timed snap. Nice first down pickup.
Kirsch making the stop on Angela Baker, but a first down for Pittsburgh. 10:17 to go, clock winding, second period of play. No score between Detroit and Pittsburgh here in the playoffs. Championship game berth is on the line here tonight. Baker's going under center this time. She has Payne playing fullback. Here's a toss sweep. Ariel Smith. She'll turn the right corner and find just a short yard.
Ariel Smith with the toss.
Defensive stop that time led for Detroit by Allison Loist.
Tackled by Allison Loist at the 46. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Allison Loist has 5 sacks in the regular season for the Detroit Dark Angels.
They have a powerful defense.
Absolutely do, and you know we're witnessing it firsthand here tonight.
On 2nd down and 9. Kia Foster slides to the left out of the backfield. Baker floats one. Turnaround attempt for Crystal Kozo. She could not bring it down. Coverage on the play by Jackie Bennington.
Again, another dangerous pass by Angela Baker. They're keying in on Crystal Kozo. She's often in double coverage when those balls are just being hung.
Handling around her. 3rd and 9.
Jen, you played for this Pittsburgh Passion Club when it first won its national title, and I just want you to describe what it felt like, not only getting into that ball game, but winning that championship.
Yeah, I mean, getting into it was amazing. I'll never forget that, they played Rocky Top, Tennessee, because the game was in Nashville when we won that, as the seconds were winding down the game, and just to know we were going to get that chance, and then to go there and, dominate the game and bring home the first championship for the Passion was a special, special thing.
Well, the Dark Angels have called a timeout. We'll step away. 9:04 to go, second period of play. It's the Pittsburgh Passion and the Detroit Dark Angels tied at 0. You're watching Pittsburgh Passion Television and watching the WFA National Playoffs. After the Detroit timeout, everybody right in the middle of the field of play, right on that WA logo, signifying West Allegheny High School. That's where we are tonight. In Imperial, Pennsylvania, the West Hills of Pittsburgh in the airport area. Baker on the play fake, throws long downfield. And Meister adjusts to the football and makes the catch inside the 20 at the 19-yard line.
Meister hit the turf hard going up for that ball, just coming down on her own weight. Looked like she rung her own bell a little bit there, but walking back to the huddle. Detroit doing a good job communicating from the sideline to help their defensive backs out, because there's a lot of misdirection from Angela Baker often, and we saw teams like New York bite on those fakes. But their sidelines communicating to them, yelling pass so that they turn around, they're field aware.
27-yard gain for Pittsburgh. They're in the silver zone now, keeping sports clean. At the 19-yard line, first down and 10, Passion. Motion by Kozo across the back of the set, over to the left side, adjusts in the slot. Baker gives off. This is Kia Foster running the football. And Kia Foster goes to the sideline, run out of bounds at around the 17.
Runs out of bounds on the near sideline at the 17.
That'll be a gain of 2.
Now by Keontae Carter. 2nd and 8.
Now under the 8-minute mark. That's time remaining in the first half of play. No one has scored in this game. A defensive struggle between these two clubs. Detroit got all the way down to the 1-yard line, but fumbled into the end zone. Pittsburgh recovered for the touchback, and now the Passion trying to go the other way the whole distance. Baker running the option. Late toss, Foster. Flag comes down. Foster gets decked over on the far side of play.
Flags are thrown as Kia Foster is brought down for
Noticing
negative
that
yardage at the
co-owner
20.
Franco Harris has just entered the building or the stadium. Maybe he'll be the good luck that this offense needs.
Absolutely. Pro Football Hall of Famer, of course, he and Anthony Misitano and Teresa Khan, the co-owners of this Pittsburgh Passion franchise, and Franco was one of the early followers of women's professional football here in Pittsburgh and believes in it so much that he bought a piece of the club.
Absolutely. He's completely given legitimacy to the sport here for other people to give us a chance. He's raised the profile of the league nationally by taking a leadership role in these different championship games that Pittsburgh has hosted over the years. We're blessed to have him as part of the organization.
How about the one at Heinz Field you and I called on ESPN3 several years ago?
Yeah, it would have been far better if we were actually seeing the black and gold play on that field, but it's another experience not to be forgotten.
Might have been one of the most exciting football games I've ever seen in my life. It was Chicago and San Diego that year.
Yeah, and you know, that was a comeback from behind game where you just thought they were out of it. And
it's an amazing history, this Pittsburgh Passion franchise. Another timeout is called. Pittsburgh calls this one with exactly 7 minutes left in the second period of play. Pittsburgh nothing, Detroit nothing. Here in the semifinals of the national tournament, the winner gets to play for the national championship next week, or I should say in 2 weeks, on July 13th in Golden, Colorado. We'll take this time out. You're watching Pittsburgh Passion TV and the WFA National Playoffs. Pittsburgh ready to get it going again. There's Baker. Over the middle. That one is complete. And Pittsburgh again moves the football down inside the 15-yard line. Crystal Kozo the target that time, and Baker put it right there.
right, Crystal coming down with, I believe, her first catch of the game, which is unusual between these duos.
3rd down and 5 for the Passion.
13-yard gain.
Is the 9.
Ball sitting on the 14-yard line. Ellie Malarski in at the right side wide. Jana Meister to the left with Kozo in the slot. Also the tight slot receiver is Fanica Payne. Here's Baker. Rolling left. Throwing end zone to Kozo, and this one gets tipped away at the last possible second. An excellent defensive play by Clarissa Tullis. Again, she has been tremendous in the defensive secondary for Detroit this year.
4th down and 5.
She goes
We
down.
do have an injury timeout.
Tullis, the player, shaken up at the goal line. Looks like she might be cramping up, Jen. Temperature here in Pittsburgh at kickoff time is 74 degrees. It's a very muggy night. We've had early rain. During the pregame warm-ups, there was a drizzle coming down that was rather steady, but since that time, we haven't had any direct rain. Fortunately, the skies are clearing just a little bit, but rain is threatening again, and we should see some more in the second half, possibly.
Yeah, and the hope is that you can get through the game with just rain, right? There's also been a lot of thunder and lightning throughout the day that we don't want to see this game delayed or called.
Again, they're working on Tullis. She went to Macomb CC. She's out of Detroit. The defensive back is up. She's going to hobble a little bit, but again, she looked like she was just cramping up. And she should be able to return. 6:06 left, second quarter, no score.
Could be a good opportunity for the Passion here with one of their strongest defensive backs out of the secondary for a Silver Sport Silver Zone play here.
Slots to both sides. Single running back this time is Smith. It is 4th down and a little more than 5 for Pittsburgh. Baker fakes the handoff. She's in trouble. Turns the corner and makes a cut, and she's going to go. Touchdown, Pittsburgh! But there's a penalty flag down.
It came late just as she was about to cross the goal line, and it looks like might be holding on Jana Meister.
Meister trying to argue the point with the linesman, and I don't think that's going to work.
Holding against the Passion.
No touchdown. Spot foul will be marked off,
10 yards from the spot.
and they'll drop it back to the 17-yard line.
8 yards to go for the first.
So now the Passion will have it 4th down and about 8. Ball spotted right between the 2 hash marks at the 17-yard line. They don't need to get it all here. They just need to get down to the 9-yard line.
Yeah, and Angela Baker knows that too. Give herself extra set of downs to work with.
Now another flag, and we're going to get a delay of game call against Pittsburgh. That will cost them another 5 yards.
Delay of game on Pittsburgh.
That puts the ball back to the 22. And that will make it 4th down and 13 yards to go. So Pittsburgh still needs to go inside the 10, down around the 9-yard line to get the first down. Touchdown run by Angela Baker, nullified by a holding call against Jana Meister. Pittsburgh goes into twin slots. Baker. Play action, pumps, now tosses downfield. That ball is caught at the 9-yard line. And it is Jana Meister who makes the catch. And Meister came down hard but held on. And that's a first down for Pittsburgh.
She got just enough, putting her body on the line to get that first down. You can see the exacerbation on the face and body language of those Detroit coaches. Passion lived to fight another set of downs.
They still haven't moved the sticks. I'm not sure why. Now they're saying,
First and goal for Pittsburgh from the 9.
well, the ball's all the way to the 9-yard line, but they haven't moved the chains yet. I'm not sure what the officials are doing. Now that was a 4th down play. And if Pittsburgh didn't make it to the yard of gain, then they're going to turn the ball over on downs to Detroit. I think right now Keith Thomas is talking, the head coach of Detroit, talking with the referee as to where the spot of the ball actually is. Now, if that ball is spotted past the line of gain, then Pittsburgh and the chain gang should be dropping those chains, and it should be 1st and goal from the 9.
Right, and they look confused as to whether they were supposed to go based on where the ball's spotted. The refs called first down.
It remains 1st and goal for the Passion.
Well, they're finally going to fold up the chains and just leave the yard marker out there. So it is 1st down and goal to go from the 9. In the Silver Sports Silver Zone, keeping sports clean. The Pittsburgh Passion with the football. 1st and goal from the 9 with 5.5 to go. Here's Baker giving to Smith. Smith will chug forward. She gets it down to the 5 and tries to drive the pile forward, and she'll get all the way to the 4.
Ariel Smith getting lots of help from black jerseys. Number 44, Kelly Bell, in there on the push. Fanica Payne in there.
2nd and goal.
2nd down and goal to go from the 4-yard line. Michaela Hilton and company making the stop on the running back for Pittsburgh that time, Smith. Ariel Smith stays in at the running back position. Jana Meister shifts over to the right side. Also on the right will be Courtney Bender. They have stacked slots this time. Payne is with Kozo on the left side. Here comes Crystal Kozo in motion across the back of the set. Baker will follow. Baker looking to throw to the end zone, and this one is intercepted again. It looks like Lisa Gomes grabs this one.
Baker throws to the end zone, and it's intercepted by Detroit.
Well, we've been calling this a defensive struggle all game long.
Yeah.
There's a penalty flag down, a false start against Pittsburgh. That penalty naturally will be declined by Detroit. And how about this? The Dark Angels intercept the pass in their end zone, defending their end zone, so they get the ball on a touchback, and they'll take it to the 20, and they'll take over possession.
Yeah, I mean, the Pittsburgh Passion making a costly mistake there, finally looking like they're starting to get the wheels moving on offense and click on all cylinders, and that's just an unfortunate turn of events.
Not sure if that was Gomes or Cunningham who made the pick, but regardless, Detroit has the football. First down and 10, and now we get another late flag.
Flags down.
A flag before the call here. Maybe Detroit has too many people on the field.
Substitution against Detroit.
And they do.
That'll back the Dark Angels up to the 15.
5-yard mark off for an illegal substitution call on Detroit.
Well, you know, thus far, Chris, Detroit have been given a couple gifts. The first INT by Baker, and then the Rodriguez muffed return, and haven't been able to do anything with it. See what they do with this third gift.
Dark Angels want a timeout. We'll step aside. 4:34 to go here in the second period of play. Our second period tonight brought to you by Green Tree Sportsplex and Fitness Center, the official indoor home of the Pittsburgh Passion. With Jen Cairns, Chris Shovlin. Timeout on the field. You're watching Pittsburgh Passion Television and the WFA National Playoffs. Back to the action, Detroit. First down and 15 from their own 15-yard line. And now the ball comes squirting out. Diamond Rodriguez picks it up and returns it down to the 1-yard line on the fumble recovery. First down and goal, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I think Devin Connor, cannot tell which Passion player was in on that initial hit, but Diamond Rodriguez, the one to have the fumble recovery, her second of the game.
Crediting Fatima Willis for the hit. Diamond Rodriguez with a fumble scoop and return down to the 1. First and goal, Pittsburgh. A golden opportunity now for the Passion. Chance for the offense to redeem itself on that last error on that last series.
Well, they're closer than they've ever been in the game thus far. They want to cross that goal line more than anything. They're not used to being at a 0-0 scoreboard this late in the first half.
Courtney Bender, the lone receiver to the right side. 3 to the left this time for Angela Baker. She's in the pistol. Ariel Smith behind her. Baker drops back, looks, throws, end zone. Crystal Kozo, the intended receiver, running to the post, came up empty.
Throws to Crystal Kozo in the back of the end zone. Pass is incomplete. Second and goal from the 1.
Second down and goal to go from the 1-yard line for Pittsburgh.
And it looked like on the coverage there was number 3, Bennington, for the Dark Angels.
This time Bender will go right, and Payne will be in the slot to the right side. Kozo's in the slot to the left with a wide out of Jana Meister. Ariel Smith, the tailback. Now they're going to run. Baker tumbles into the end zone. And finally, we get a score on the board here in Pittsburgh tonight. The Passion take a 6-0 lead with 4:16 to go on a 1-yard sweep to the left by Angela Baker.
Well, she gets that TD back, right? It got called back on a holding penalty by Jana Meister. Last set of downs. Not to be denied this time around, getting it done with her legs as she's done all season. Breaking the deadlock on the scoreboard.
Frankie Kilmer, rookie, is on to kick the extra point for Pittsburgh. She's 11 of 19 on PATs this year. High snap placement is down. The kick booms over the upright. It's good. 7-0 Pittsburgh. 4:16 to play here in the second period. And Pittsburgh finally breaks the ice and gets on the board.
It's a big momentum shift, one that's absolutely needed as they head into halftime. They are not accustomed, even the last time these two teams met, to be allowing them to hang in as long as they are.
So both teams have had takeaways in their opponents' end zones, and what that has led to is Pittsburgh getting the first break of this ball game after turning the ball over to Detroit. Detroit getting the penalty. They fumbled the football away. Pittsburgh recovers and then scores a couple of plays later.
Passion doing what they should be doing, and what they did 2 weeks ago with the New York Wolves is that when those gifts are given to you, you got to make the best of them. You got to capitalize on them. And you know, Detroit now has 3 turnovers that they have not capitalized on. The Passion have 2 and capitalized on 1.
Elisa McGowan is the deep kickoff player. She'll loop one only to the 31-yard line. And a return is on by Pauling, who gets knocked down hard on the return play. A big hit on that return by Kaylee Bowden.
Injury timeout.
And we've got another Dark Angel down. It could be the return person. It's going to be first down and 10. Detroit at its own 41-yard line with 4:10 left in the first half of play. Pittsburgh able to capitalize on that error by Detroit, getting a big hit on the Pittsburgh defensive side, then the fumble recovery and the scoop and return down to the 1, and a couple of plays later they get in the end zone. In a game like this, that score could stand up.
It could, you know, but they're doing what good teams do. They take advantage of the mistakes of the other side. They don't let their mistakes derail them from their goal. I mean, the minute that they just had what you would consider a heartbreaking interception in a Silver Sports Silver Zone situation, the wherewithal for their defense to not come out deflated, but to come out hungry and get that ball back is just utterly amazing.
Well, it was not the returner who was shaken up on the play. It appears to have been Taylor Russell who was injured on the play.
I think that's who Kaylee Bowden hit first and leveled, and then the ball carrier tripped over the two of them as they collided.
Wow. Well, you might notice on your screen that the rain is starting to pick up. The umbrellas are popping up in the stands right now. And somebody handed Franco Harris his jacket.
We have laundry on the field. Illegal substitution.
There's another substitution penalty against Detroit here before the snap of the football after the injury timeouts.
It'll be first and 15 from the 36-yard line.
And their coach is not happy about it. He's almost onto the hash mark there.
Keith Thomas, the head coach of Detroit. Rashonda Tansey moves out of the backfield into the slot as the rain starts driving from the left end zone toward the right as the wind picks up a little bit. Again, bouncing one outside is Pauling, the running back, and Pauling will be dragged down after just a short gain of about a half yard. Pauling is going to be slow in getting up.
I think it was Rebecca Airgood that got there first. Did a good job making the open field tackle.
Pauling is being attended to on the far side. See a little flash of lightning off in the distance, and you know, just as the rain picked up, it stopped that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of day I can't even begin to predict. As we came off the field for pregame, it looked like there were brighter skies behind, and then the heavens just opened up and it was pouring. So.
Well, we have an extended injury timeout. We'll step away. Again, the score is Pittsburgh 7, Detroit 0. 3 minutes, 54 seconds left here in the first half, and now we are being told we're going to get a lightning delay. The officials have deemed play to be unsafe, and they're going to move the players into their locker rooms and the spectators out of the stands. So it looks like a lightning delay here.
I mean, it's what we said. We hoped that we could get through the first half without lightning. Maybe it happened on the during the halftime break. Not so lucky. So doing what's safe and best, evacuating the field, evacuating the stands, but for the injured player on the field.
So there's probably going to be a minimum 30-minute break before they can get back out on the field. So what the officials may want to instruct them to do is just take their halftime now, come out and play the remainder of the first half, and then go straight into the second half after a very short timeout.
It would make the most sense here. I mean, we're going to be battling weather all night long. You want to get in as much of the game as you can since it's one and done for either team.
All right, so players are going undercover, and the fans are going to do the same thing. Again, not raining very hard right now. The umbrellas, for the most part, are still up, and the rain gear is on. But we've called a stoppage here in the West Hills of Pittsburgh tonight due to lightning in the area, so they'll at least hold the game for about a half an hour, and we'll come back to you and give you an update as soon as we know what's happening. Chris Shublin, Jen Cairns, you're watching Pittsburgh Passion Television and the WFA National Playoffs here from Pittsburgh tonight at Joe P. DiMichele Stadium in Imperial. Well, after the long lightning delay, the Passion and the Detroit Dark Angels are going to get set to start back up with 3 minutes, 54 seconds left in the second period of play. 7-0 the Passion in the lead over Detroit after the half-hour lightning delay. We've seen a couple of flashes off in the distance, but apparently, Jen, far enough from the ballpark not to start another clock on that delay.
Yeah. You know, these ladies are eager to get back at it, as are the fans.
Now the officials holding up action before we actually get the first snap following the delay. And again, Keith Thomas, the head coach of Detroit, kind of losing his cool over there on the sideline. He's out and saying, why are we delaying again? I think the officials are just trying to make sure they have the ball spotted in the right place.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, it's a 30-minute delay for everybody and trying to get things back in line, ready to go. It's going to take some time.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're moving the chains.
Instead of 2nd and 15.
The 10-yard markers are being moved. The line of scrimmage was in the right spot. And we're officially back to action. They're officially fighting again. Tatiana Pauling trying to sweep it around the left side. And this has been a rough physical game, and that's another example.
Yes, it is. I mean, she was
Tanisha Spencer.
didn't have much green running room there. Tanisha Spencer in a sea of black jerseys closing it up quick. She's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Ball is at the 37. Pittsburgh fans make some noise.
Ball sitting just shy of the 37-yard line. It's third down, a little more than 15 for Detroit. Tatiana Pauling, almost 1,500 yards during the regular season in the rushing category, gets the snap and the handoff. And Pauling roughed up, able to break a tackle until she is finally met and brought down by Kim Zabovic.
Pauling showing you how tough she was, bouncing off of a couple different Passion defenders who looked like they had them wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage, only to break free and be brought down by Zabovic.
Well, we have an injured Passion player who's deep in the backfield, and it appears to be Frankie Kilmer, who not only plays on the defensive side but also is the kicker for the Passion. She's shaken up, so we have another short stoppage here for the injury with 2:42 left in the second period of play. Passion with a 7-0 lead over Detroit. Kilmer not putting any pressure on her left leg or foot at all. And again, the UPMC docs will take care of her on the sideline as we get back to play. On 4th down, it's a punting down for Detroit, 4th and long. Almost nailed that punt, and now Rodriguez lets it sail through her hand. She picks it up, shakes off a would-be tackler, and then starts running. Rodriguez still on her feet, flag flies, and Rodriguez is finally nailed down at the 18-yard line.
Rodriguez has got to start making smarter decisions as a kick returner. You know, that one was over her head. Let it hit the turf, take whatever bounce it's going to take. Especially in a game like this that has been hard fought defensively.
Blocking the back is the call against the
Danielle Kearse made the stop on the return on Diamond Rodriguez, and now blocking the back call against Pittsburgh. Mark the Passion back to the 10-yard line. 2:15 left in the second quarter. This game was moving along at a pretty steady pace until we had a 30-minute lightning delay. Now that that's over, we're back to play the remainder of the second quarter, and then we'll have the traditional halftime. And again, the official's going to have to wait for the chain crew to catch up. They're just now putting the sticks into position. Here's Ebony Montgomery into the game. She'll chuck one out to the right side. Angela Baker makes the catch, but behind the line of scrimmage. Holds on, takes a lick, goes down with a 1-yard loss, even though the pass was completed.
Tackled by Michaela Hilton.
Looks like Ebony Montgomery is staying under center for at least another play.
Alongside Sarah Kirkos. Loss of 1.
It's going to be 2nd down and 11,
from the 9.
even with the completion. And again, Detroit is going to go into gang tackling mode. And Ariel Smith had nowhere to go. Should be swept all the way back to the 4. A 5-yard loss on the rushing play.
First contact by Keontae Carter. Timeout.
Pittsburgh wants timeout.
When we come back, it'll be
We'll take a break. 1:23 left, second quarter. The Passion with a 7-0 lead over Detroit, but backpedaling on offense here on Pittsburgh Passion TV. Pittsburgh with the ball, 3rd down. 16 yards to go. The ball is sitting just beyond the 4. Angela Baker will pull the snap this time in the pistol. Standing in the end zone. Play action fake. Pumps. Steps up. Throws. Complete. And not enough for the first down, but Pittsburgh gets some breathing room out to the 15, 16-yard line.
Baker's pass is hauled in by Crystal
Kozo snaring that one.
Tackle at the 16.
It's going to be 4th down and 5 yards to go. So the punt team is on, and Jana Meister will be under a little bit of pressure trying to punt from inside her 5.
Going back, Casey Cunningham and Clarissa Torres.
Meister with a line drive. Cunningham. It hit her, and it's recovered by Pittsburgh. Coming up with the recovery off the muff is Lakeitha Barrett, and Pittsburgh is out to midfield.
Jana Meister kicks a low driving punt that takes a sharp bounce. The Detroit defender can't come up with it, but it bounces off her, and a good heads-up play by Lakeitha Barrett to see the ball hit the Dark Angel and come up with a return.
1st down and 10. Second time we've seen that tonight. It happened to Pittsburgh the first time. Now it happens to Detroit. Baker back on offense, gives off. Ariel Smith running through the line. Ariel Smith with an 11-yard gain.
We've got another player down, slow to get up for the Passion. Grabbing her knee there.
like Sam Simeone, one of the tough linemen for the Pittsburgh Passion, a little slow in getting up there, Jen, and hopefully she'll be okay. I'll tell you what, they really need her on that line of scrimmage.
They absolutely do. So to see her start to work her way to her feet is a little bit of an exhale there. But at first she was grabbing that knee, which was concerning.
Will receive $330. And the winning tickets is...
Have a timeout here on the field with 24 seconds left. 7-0 Passion in the lead over Detroit.
Again, that's 245-079. $330.
Only touchdown in this ball game scored by Angela Baker on a 1-yard run. That was after Diamond Rodriguez scoop up and fumble recovery returned down to the 1-yard line. Baker, a couple of plays after that, was able to score. Frankie Kilmer, who's shaken up on the sideline now with her knee iced, added the extra point kick. It's 7-0 Pittsburgh, and that's the only scoring we've seen. Now with 24 seconds left in the first half, Angela Baker and the offense are at midfield. Detroit showing blitz straight up the middle. Baker heaves one left side. It goes incomplete. Off the hands that time of Vanica Payne, and she was defensed nicely by Clarissa Tullis.
Clarissa Tullis is tough as nails and showing us over and over again that she is great in pass coverage. This time she's got a mismatch
Once again, ladies and gentlemen,
with Kia
you
Foster.
are an active member or previous member of the military, law enforcement, firefighters, or first responders. Please
Meister
consider
left,
taking
Malarski
your
right,
seat.
slots to both sides. Ebony Montgomery back in to play QB. Baker is one of the slot receivers. She's on the left. Here's Montgomery winding up, throwing down left side. Baker diving, stab at the ball. It's caught at the 25-yard line.
Getting to see why Ebony Baker was slated to be the quarterback for this season. She's got a cannon. This time she connects with 82 Angela Baker.
One of the Dark Angels shaken up on the play, so the officials stop the clock. Looks like Lindsay Stover. She'll go to the sideline quickly. Passion with 11 seconds left in the second period. Montgomery stays in. Play fake. Sends one right side on the wheel route, and Kozo could not drag it down. And the clock sounds ending the first half of play, and that's the way it's going to end here. 7-0 Pittsburgh lead at the intermission. Jen, your thoughts on the first half so far?
You know, it's like we thought this is going to come in and be a battle of top-notch defenses, and it has. You know, every time it seems that the Passion offense starts to get the wheels a-moving, you know, whether it be a weather delay or you know, a mental miscue, it's cost them. But luckily it's not put any points up on the board yet against them, and the Passion defense has a goose egg.
Well, it is halftime, and it's 7-0 Pittsburgh. You're watching the Pittsburgh Passion on Pittsburgh Passion TV and the WFA National Playoffs.
Steelers Super Bowl champions of the 70s, Franco Harris.
At the 37-yard line. She's delivered a little bit of a blow as well, but Rebecca Luden will be credited with the tackle.
Yeah, and Rebecca Luden, trying to make it seem like that hit didn't hurt, comes up acting as though she did something, and then Hannah Damon, throwing the ball in her direction, so it's going to start getting a little chippy here now, but we need Hannah to keep her emotions under check. No stupid penalties.
In the other game being played tonight, St. Louis has a 21-0 lead on Mile High. Of course, winners of these two games in Division II will meet in Golden, Colorado for the national championship game on July 13th. They will play at the Colorado School of Mines, a beautiful Division II facility. Crystal Kozo in motion. Angela Baker pumps and shucks over to Ellie Malarski, who breaks a tackle. 40. Malarski breaks another tackle and another, and finally gets dropped at the 28-yard line on the stop, Jackie Bennington.
And Jackie Bennington not giving up after Ellie Malarski delivers a hard hit. Amazing she stays on her feet after 4 Dark Angel defenders had a chance to bring her down.
Ellie Malarski with a sure-handed catch, and that yak yardage, yards after the catch, just tremendous. And again, Bennington is being checked on as we've just started the second half of play with Pittsburgh leading 7-0.
Yeah, and this would be a big loss for the Dark Angels. She's one of their leading defensive players with 52 tackles on the year, 2 sacks.
That reception by Malarski and the run after, 33 yards combined. And again, with the injury timeout, we'll step away. You're watching the Pittsburgh Passion on Pittsburgh Passion TV and the WFA Championships. Good to see Bennington walking off on her own. Pittsburgh will have the ball at the Detroit 29-yard line after the big play from Baker to Malarski. Kia Foster comes back to play tailback. She's behind Angela Baker. Kozo in motion. Baker dropped the snap and picks it up and takes off. Angela Baker to the 15.
On a broken play, turns nothing into something.
First down, Pittsburgh.
Turns that something into a Pittsburgh first down.
Amazing wherewithal by Angela Baker to scoop up that low snap and then realize she just doesn't have time to execute the design play and calls her own number and gets another first down for the Passion.
Passion trying to double up that score they have on the board right now. Baker in the Silver Sports Silver Zone. Little misdirection to Kia Foster, and Foster is off to the races. And Kia Foster gets tackled just shy of the end zone at the 1.
Brought down at the 1-yard line.
Again, the draw play that they executed so well against the New York Wolves 2 weeks ago, just able to camouflage the misdirection inches from the goal line.
Foster checks out, Smith back in. Fanica Payne will play the H-back role. Smith, touchdown, Pittsburgh. 13-0, the Passion lead with 13:11 to go in the third.
Passion doing what they couldn't do in the first half, and that is score early. All of this set up by Ellie Malarski's 30-yard reception.
Jen, the Passion are going to go for 2. Frankie Kilmer, their place kicker, is out. Her knee is iced, and she's still being attended to on the training table. Angela Baker has the offense out there. Pumps, chucks right, and the 2-point conversion is scored by Crystal Kozo. That is her 7th 2-pointer of the season. And how about that? It's her birthday.
There you go. What a birthday gift to find the end zone.
13:11 to play in the third quarter.
You know, for the loss of Frankie Kilmer is big for a couple reasons. I mean, certainly for her presence on the field, but for that kicking game that she brings to the Passion, that third element. It's a vulnerability that they're going to have to address should they move on in this game so that it does not become an issue in that championship game.
The other semifinal going on tonight, St. Louis with a 21-0 lead over Mile High. So if things hold up, it'll be Pittsburgh versus St. Louis in Golden, Colorado in mid-July, the second weekend in July for the national championship. Passion looking for its 4th title. Impressive.
They are no stranger to the postseason and no stranger to that championship game, and I know this team full of brand new bright-eyed faces want their first, chance at that championship ring.
Back deep. Curse.
McGowan will kick for Pittsburgh. And she'll just loop it in there. And the up receiver is Sarah Kirkos. And she returns it back to around the 46. And that's where Detroit will take over, trailing 15-0 to Pittsburgh. Still almost a full half of football to play, though.
I know, it's ridiculous. We should take over under bets on how late this game will end. But Sarah Kirkos did a great job there. I mean, it's always surprising when the ball comes to you in that front line, and she fielded it well. Didn't get much yardage after the catch, but did her job by keeping the ball from hitting the carpet.
Maggie Hudkins has her team lined up. A straight T formation. Sweep to the left and a reverse of field for Tatiana Pauling. And Pauling breaks loose and has the first down.
Tatiana Pauling.
She'll gain 13.
Reverses her field.
Pauling reversing field, gets to the outside, meeting Kozo in the open field, able to stiff arm Kozo and get around her. Tamisha Spencer saving the day and pushing her out of bounds.
First down Detroit, ball at the Pittsburgh 40-yard line. Errant snap, but fortunately for Detroit, the whistles blew.
We got flags everywhere.
And a false start.
False start is the call against Detroit.
It looked like there was slight movement by the quarterback the last play that wasn't called. Same antsy movement this go around. This time the refs see it.
Loss of 5 on the penalty. First down 15, ball sitting at the 45-yard line. Hudkins gives off. Gomes runs right. Gomes turns it upfield, picks up 5.
Tackled by Juju Ayanta.
Ayanta makes the stop on the play for Pittsburgh.
Injury timeout.
Again, one of the Dark Angels shaken up on the play. So we'll remind you, you're watching Pittsburgh Passion Television and the WFA National Championships. Kirko's shaken up on the play, is off on her own. Now Detroit looking at 2nd down and 11 with 11 and a half minutes to go here in the third quarter. Inside handoff is going to go to Pauling. And Pauling will take it around the left side to the 35-yard line. She'll gain 6.
That's Fantina Willis in on the tackle.
Making a stop, Fantina Willis.
In the first half, Willis had 3 tackles and 1 forced fumble.
Third down and 5.
Third down and 5 now for Detroit. The Dark Angels step up to the line. There's a run to Gomes once again, and she'll take it to the right and pick up a yard, and that's all. Pittsburgh was waiting for her, and the Passion defense dropped her as Ayanta was there. And now we have a Passion defender injured on the play. It's been a tough ball game tonight.
It has. It's hard hitting, hard fought. Lots of players going down, some for the season, some just for a play.
Ashley Campbell's going to check in for the injured ball player, but right now, Docs from UPMC Sports Medicine out there with 10:23 to go in the third period of play. Timeout on the field. Passion 15-0 over Detroit.
5 coming up for Detroit.
Boy, that's a tough injury for Pittsburgh to swallow. Caitlin Niedermeyer can't get back into this ball game, and more importantly, if Passion do hold on to win this one, they're up 15-0, get into the national championship game. You don't want to do that without her.
No, you do not. She's one of the league leading tacklers, and thus far in this game, she's had 5 tackles and 1 forced fumble.
4th down, Detroit will keep the offense out there. They're down 2 touchdowns. Here's the inside handoff. And again, a tough run by Tatiana Pauling, and she will have the first down.
Tracking her down from the backfield is Diamond Rodriguez.
By Diamond Rodriguez. 1st and 10, Dark Angels.
Yeah, it's not even go for broke. Detroit just knows that 4th down play. They have it in the Pittsburgh end of the field. They might as well take a chance. It's not that much of a gamble, and they were able to get it to pay off for them.
Right, you know, and they know that there are some critical players that have recently come out of the defensive game. Frankie Kilmer, Caitlin Niedermeyer.
First down and 10, Detroit. Ball sitting at the Pittsburgh 29. Tight trips to the right. Play fake. Huckins going to throw it up, and it's intercepted by Pittsburgh, and the return is on. Crystal Kozo with the ball. Crystal Kozo out beyond midfield and is finally tackled from behind at the 45-yard line. She can do it all. Happy birthday to Crystal Kozo.
She can. So for her birthday, she's got a 2-point conversion and now an INT with crazy yards after the catch. Almost finding pay dirt and clear path to the end zone. Just chased out of bounds there at the last second. But a critical interception at a time when Detroit was just moving the ball methodically.
29-yard pick return for Crystal Kozo. The ball sits at the 46-yard line. First down and 10 for the Pittsburgh Passion. 9:08 to play here in the third quarter. After a half-hour lightning delay at the end of the second period of play, the Passion and the Dark Angels still going at it. Pittsburgh up by 2 scores. Empty backfield. Baker pumps. Now throws down over the middle, looking for Kozo, and that one was almost picked off as she threw it behind her. Fortunately, Detroit could not come up with it.
Detroit's defenders collide into one another and basically knock the ball out of Clarissa Tullis's hands. Ellie Malarski was open in the slant route as well, and you could see her waving for it, but Baker's going to her favorite target, Kozo, who's often in double coverage this evening.
2nd down and 10. Jana Meister over to the left side. Payne will be in the slot left. Kozo is in the slot to the right side. And Malarski comes out wide right. Kia Foster is in at running back. Here's Baker, chased, rolls right, pumps. Baker tucks and runs, and Baker will pick up a couple of yards.
Baker rolls out.
Chased out of bounds on the near side of play by Crystal Krepp.
Gain of 3. 3rd down and 7.
Passion looking at 3rd down and 7 now as Foster checks out. Smith comes back in to play running back. Clock winding, 8:38 to go here in the 3rd. 15-0 Pittsburgh, trying to get it to Golden, Colorado in 2 weeks to play in the national championship game. Winner gets to go. Here's Baker with a roll. Baker, downfield, overthrows Jana Meister into the sideline, incomplete.
Baker's pass is incomplete and caught by one of the Detroit assistant coaches.
That'll bring up 4th down for Pittsburgh, and the punt team will have to come out.
Meister
Back deep to receive for Detroit will be Clarissa Tullis.
Back to receive is Clarissa Tullis.
Meister punts it out of traffic. And a nice Pittsburgh bounce.
Meister's punt.
No return for Detroit. They'll have the ball at the 20-yard line.
1st and 10 for Detroit from there.
8:23 left in the 3rd. 15-0 Pittsburgh on top of Detroit. Jen, let's see what Detroit can do here in this possession. They have it at their own 20-yard line. They're down 2 scores right now. And time not an ally as we're midway through the 3rd period of play. And it's been all Pittsburgh on the scoreboard, but Detroit has really done well, playing hard, tough, hard-nosed football. We knew they would coming into this ball game. There's a run play. And Pauling somehow, some way breaks loose. Big play coming up. She's going to go 80 yards. And does so. Unbelievable. Tatiana Pauling comes out of the pile and goes to the house from 80 yards back.
And she did that battling through a sea of black jerseys because there were a handful of Passion defenders who looked like they had her stopped 3 yards from the line of scrimmage, and then she's getting 7 yards, and then finally she breaks through all that traffic to just find the outside edge, and nobody can keep up to her stride for stride.
Detroit will try a place kick for the point after. And that ball is bombed out of the ballpark.
From Sarah Monty.
Sarah Monty put her foot into it nicely that time. And
15, Detroit 7.
Pittsburgh's lead is now 8 points, 15-7. with 8:04 to go here in the third period of play. What an answer by Detroit.
Well, I mean, and the passion of feeling the losses is some pretty critical personnel, and Frankie Kilmer and Caitlin Niedermeyer, and Detroit capitalized, taking full advantage of running up the middle without those two fierce defenders there.
Dark Angels right back in this ball game now, trailing by 1 score. They were just looking for the break and they got it. They did it on the big play. This is typically a methodical team, Detroit. But they took what Pittsburgh gave them that time. Passion just couldn't make the tackle.
Monty will kick off.
Sarah Monty will have the football teed up at the 35-yard line. Diamond Rodriguez is to the far side. Ellie Malarski to the near side, downfield at around the 12-yard line. Here's Monty's run up. Sends it Malarski's way, but it gets past her. And it goes out of bounds.
Malarski's kick. The correction, Monty's kick.
And Malarski touched the ball, so as it went out of bounds, Pittsburgh will have it back at its own 4-yard line.
It's a facet of the game that the Passion have struggled with all evening long, and it's the return game.
Passion have to respond here, Jen, deep in their own territory. From the 4-yard line, they're back at that proverbial wall. As Detroit has crept 1 score closer in this ball game. 15-7, the Dark Angels are down to the Passion right now with 8:02 to go in the third period of play. And I keep stressing, there's a lot of football left here.
Plenty of football, and right now the momentum is clearly in Detroit's hands.
But Ariel Smith has other designs, and she is able to break out and run out to the 15-yard line. That's going to be an 11-yard pickup and a first down for Pittsburgh.
And also gives Pittsburgh a first down.
And that helps.
Ariel Smith in the first half had six carries for 17 yards and 1 touchdown. Adding to that tally, stat sheet with that nice run.
Baker facing a blitz. Gives it off. This is Foster. And Foster is hooked down after a pretty good gain out near the 23-yard line.
Again, it's Clarissa Tullis delivering the hard hit.
Clarissa Tullis.
Pittsburgh picks up 8. Second down and 2 with 7:03 to go on a running third quarter clock. 15-7, the Passion lead. Baker in the pistol. Gives to Smith. Smith with a first down. And she'll back her way ahead to the 29-yard line before she's dropped by Detroit.
This front 5 opening up some nice holes for Smith and Foster to run through.
First and 10, Pittsburgh. Ball sitting at the 29-yard line. The guy running the yard marker hasn't switched the down.
It's been a struggle on that side all night.
I'm telling you, Jane Gang has had a rough night. Here's the throw. Down over the middle. It's caught out of the air. And that's going to be another first down for Pittsburgh.
And again, that's Clarissa Tullis, who brings Ariel Smith down, but not after she's able to cross the first down marker. And the chain gang is moving.
Hey. And they switched the down marker.
They did.
From the 42, first down and 10, Pittsburgh. Like Detroit had to call a timeout.
They're slow to get some personnel off the field. Instead of take the penalty, they call a timeout.
5:57 left, third period of play. It's Pittsburgh 15, Detroit 7, here in the WFA playoffs and on Pittsburgh Passion TV. After the Detroit timeout, first down and 10, Pittsburgh. Baker has a double slot formation, brings Kozo behind her in motion. Fakes the handoff after the low snap, picks it up and runs, has a first down, zigzag move, all the way down to the Detroit 42-yard line.
Has a halo of dark angels all around her, but she still picks up the Pittsburgh first down.
Again, Angela Baker making something out of nothing with that low snap. Turning the Jets on, securing another first down for her Pittsburgh Passion ladies.
Meister and Payne go to the left side. Malarski and Kozo are to the right. Foster comes in at tailback. Now she empties the set, comes in motion to the right side. Baker calls for the snap, blitzes on, low snap again, chucks one over the middle, trying to find Kia Foster. Coming out of the backfield, they're going to rule that a trap. Incomplete.
To Kia Foster is incomplete. Second down.
Right behind her in coverage was Leanne Toot. Second down and 10 for Pittsburgh at the Detroit 42. Payne goes to the H-back.
Oh.
Again, Detroit showing blitz. This ball squirts through the feet of Angela Baker. Unfortunately, she's able to go back and cover it. Detroit did come early, didn't they?
They did come early.
And she's dropped at the 40. Encroachment is the call against the Dark Angels. 5-yard
Dark Angels called for encroachment, a 5-yard penalty.
It's second down and 5 from the 30.
Marked off from the line of scrimmage, so Pittsburgh will advance to the Dark Angels 37-yard line. It's going to be second down and 5. Again, Detroit blitzing. Smith will slice to the left, get a couple of yards.
Ashley Andrews, 51 on the tackle.
Tackle by Ashley Andrews after a gain of 1. Third down and 4. Ball be placed at the 36.
Pickup of 1 by Smith makes it third down and 4. Baker fakes the handoff and carries. Following Smith's block. Baker sprung loose to the right side, dives for the first down.
Angela Baker having much more success running the ball today than throwing the ball, but showing you just what the threat she is. Fighting for every yard, knowing that she was inches away from the first down and just dove for it. Got it.
Baker advances it to the 29-yard line in Detroit territory. Now sets 3 receivers to the left side. Meister, the wide out to the boundary. Kozo in the slot, and Payne in that slot tightest to the line. The give will go to Ariel Smith, and she is tumbled down on a great tackle by Lisa Gomes.
Is twirled down in the backfield for a 6-yard loss.
Lisa Gomes coming in hard on the blitz. Needs the ball carrier immediately upon the exchange. That one's got the Passion fans riled up a bit for what they think is a late hit on the quarterback.
Second down and 16.
Second down, 16 yards to go for Pittsburgh. The ball sitting at the 35-yard line. Slots to both sides. Baker, play action. Throws backpedaling and hits Malarski. She circles around, and Malarski still on her feet down the sideline. Finally gets bruised out of bounds on the near side on a hard chuck by Clarissa Tullis. But Malarski puts Pittsburgh back into the Silver Sports Silver Zone. It's first down and goal to go.
Ellie Malarski has the better matchup on the Dark Angel defensive back in this series, getting open and in fine field territory for Angela Baker to just find her. And then again, another great run after the catch. Clarissa Tullis basically saved the touchdown by flying cross field to chuck Malarski out of bounds.
You know, I thought it might be first and goal, but it's actually, or is it? Yep, they're going to say it is first and goal. The ball is touching. The nose of the football is on the 10-yard line, so it's first down and goal to go. Baker, snap, gets away from her. I don't know how she did it, but she picked it back up, and Angela Baker survived and picked up about a half yard.
Able to get back to the line of scrimmage after botching the snap. And it's second and goal from the 10.
Yeah, that's a handful of bad exchanges between center and quarterback. It's kind of been a Achilles heel for them all season long.
Well, the Passion, Jen, got about the length of a football gain on that play. That's it. Lucky to get that much. Second down and goal to go from inside the 10. Again, Baker loses the snap and gets crunched in the process. A hard shot down low by Diana Lenaway.
Recovered at about the 14-yard line. Third and goal from the 14.
Passion lose yards back to the 14-yard line. It's going to be third down and goal to go from there. 15-7, Pittsburgh in the lead. 50 seconds left in the third period of play. We had a half-hour lightning delay, and that's why we're late in the evening. Baker gets the snap, rolls to the right, looks, throws, end zone. Kozo bobbles and could not come down with it.
Kozo wide open, nearest defender. Looked like it was Leanne Took. She at least had 2 snaps on her, but just couldn't get the body turned around, and then juggled, only to tap it out of bounds.
In quarter number 3.
Now the officials stop the clock. Pittsburgh has called a timeout. And we'll take a break. 35 seconds left in the third period of play. And the Passion lead it 15-7 over Detroit here in the WFA National Playoffs on Pittsburgh Passion TV. Well, the Passion have it fourth down and goal to go from 14 yards away. See what Baker does with it. Rolls to the right, gets flushed, throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Jana Meister! From 14 yards away on a fourth and goal play, Angela Baker sends one right to the post, and Jana Meister is there to land it.
Angela Baker again scooping up a shoestring snap, keeping her presence and head about her, waiting for the plays to develop. Jana Meister wide open in the back of the end zone, and then it's just an excellent concentrated catch by Jana Meister to get another one on the board for the Passion, which they much needed.
We're going to get a point after kick attempt now for Pittsburgh. And it is going to be blocked, unfortunately. Frankie Kilmer was knocked out of the game. Alicia McGowan gave it a shot, and it got blocked at the line. So the kick is no good, and the score will remain the Passion 21 and Detroit 7 with 29 seconds left. You know, when you think back, Passion went for the 2-point conversion after the last touchdown. That was prior to Kilmer being injured, and after Kilmer had made the first conversion on a kick after the initial score of this ball game. So it's pretty wise for the Pittsburgh Passion to go for 2 that last time around.
Right, absolutely. And you know, they got to give McGowan a chance because they're going to need to, judging by the injury to Kilmer's knee, they're going to need to ride McGowan's leg into the championship game should they get past the Detroit Dark Angels tonight.
I'm sure we'll have 2 weeks to prepare as long as this score holds up. But we've seen some crazy plays in this ball game tonight, including a breakaway touchdown run by Tatiana Pauling in Detroit's last possession.
And you got to believe they're going to call her number again.
That drive went 96 yards. I'm not sure what the team record is, but that could be one of the longest, if not the longest, in history.
Pretty impressive.
McGowan's kick. Taken on the hop by Curse. And Curse takes it all the way back to the 44.
From the 27. Tackle was made by Hannah Damon.
It'll be first down and 10 for Detroit. Ball just shy of the 44-yard line. We have 21 seconds left here, still in the third period of play. Got a lot of stoppages for injuries here tonight. This has been a very physical game, not to mention the half-hour lightning delay. That was prior to halftime.
Yep, and then they took a full halftime because on the schedule they had something very important. That was honoring the veterans and first responders that they weren't going to compromise. And so, you know, here we are.
The third quarter brought to you tonight by YMCA of Greater Pittsburgh. Be active, be involved, and belong. First down and 10, Detroit. Huckins. Pauling gets cracked and crunched after a 2 to 3 yard gain. A host of tacklers over here on the near side for Pittsburgh.
It was Diamond Rodriguez, I think, that got there first. Willis helping on the tackle.
We have come to the end of the third period of play, brought to you by YMCA of Greater Pittsburgh. Be active, be involved, and belong. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by Super Donut, #1 in nutrition, more protein, less fat, by Green Tree Sportsplex and Fitness Center, the official indoor home of the Pittsburgh Passion, by Post-Acute Medical, providing high-quality post-acute health care services, by Sister Support, a nonprofit organization committed to the advancement of women through community, connection, and sisterhood, and by SWGR Athletics. Chris Shublin, Jennifer Cairns. At the end of 3, the Pittsburgh Passion lead the Detroit Dark Angels 21-7 on Pittsburgh Passion TV.
And Post-Acute Medical, providing high-quality post-acute healthcare services.
Start of the fourth period of play. Pittsburgh up 21-7 over Detroit. 1 quarter away from the national championship game. And now a throw downfield just off the back hip of Taylor Russell. As Huckins that time was trying to throw a pocket pass to her. And I thought the ball was delivered pretty well. It was just that Russell couldn't turn completely around to get it.
Yeah, she didn't look like she was in the right position to have the ball delivered to her. Maybe it getting knocked off her route by the Passion defensive back.
Third down and 6. Detroit spreads it out into a double slot formation. The pass is going to go incomplete. It was a forward pass intended for Bashonda Tanzi.
A good screen pass intended for Bashonda Tanzi is incomplete. 4th down.
Detroit showing you why their preference and sweet spot is with the run.
Well, right now, let's see if they want to try another offensive play. They're out at midfield. Or if they want to punt the ball away and go for the field position. Try to pin Pittsburgh back further. Yeah, they look like they have the offense ready to go. Pittsburgh's out of position. They've got 2 deep backs who are expecting a punt. Instead, they're going to run the offense. And there goes Pauling. And Pauling has the first down, and she'll break downfield. And fortunately, Diamond Rodriguez was back there in punt reception formation because she was able to run up and make the stop.
Yeah, but if they come back and realize that the punt team's not on, Rodriguez gets the opportunity to make that tackle before the first down marker. It's one of those things where the sideline needs to be communicating to them, but they also need to have some field awareness to see what personnel is or is not on the field for Detroit.
St. Louis looks like it's headed for the championship game in 2 weeks. They have a 34-0 lead on Mile High, and the other game being played out west.
Passion has not ever seen either team, the St. Louis Slam or the Mile High Blaze.
Pauling again. Pauling gets pinballed around, breaks the tackle from Hannah Damon, but gets swept down by the rest of the unit coming in.
Pauling just hits the hole so fast, and then she keeps the legs a churning that it's really difficult for these Passion players to take her down on that initial hit.
Pittsburgh playing without Caitlin Niedermeyer, who was injured earlier in the game. 2nd down and 5 after Pauling gained 5. Huggins sends it over the middle, and this one is going to be incomplete. Again, Taylor Russell tried to turn around and make the catch, but the ball was thrown errantly.
That brings up 3rd down and 6.
It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Detroit Dark Angels. 13-18 to play in the contest. Pittsburgh up by 2 scores, 21-7. Send Michaela Hilton out wide to the left side. They'll send 3 receivers in a stack set to the right. Huggins, high snap. Able to handle it then. They're going to rule that a forward pass.
Huggins hauls in the
Boy, that was dangerously close to being a fumble, but it was a forward pass.
and gets the ball off.
We see another Dark Angel shaken up. Brittany Fitzwater, one of their offensive linemen.
Injury timeout.
Break because of injury. We'll take a timeout. 13-14 to play in the game. It's the Pittsburgh Passion 21-7 over Detroit. Here are the national semifinals of the WFA on Pittsburgh Passion TV. 4th down, a little more than 5 for Detroit. Ball sits at the Pittsburgh 28-yard line. Here's the give. It's Pauling again, and Pauling trying to stay alive and can't get to the stick. Here comes a flag out late. And that run went to the 25-yard line. She needed to get to the 24. See what the flag's all about.
It's on Pittsburgh, so they're going to get the first down.
It's against Pittsburgh.
Face mask call. Well, that's a tough one as Pittsburgh gives up not only the first down, but half the distance to the goal. And Detroit will end up with the ball at around the 13-yard line. Even the Dark Angels had to run a long way to get lined up. Huggins will give. And another dazzling run by Pauling over to the right side this time, down to the 7-yard line.
Tackle by Damon and Bowden.
She's able to get through the arms of Crystal Kozo, but Crystal Kozo slowed her down enough for Damon
Second and 6.
and Bowden to finish her off.
Second down and 5 to go now for Detroit. Ball at the Pittsburgh 7. Passion trying to dig in. They're up by 2 scores. 12 minutes left in the ball game. And this national semifinal with a victor tonight to go to the national championship game in Colorado in 2 weeks. Here's Hutkins throwing for the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown for Detroit. Up in the air, Michaela Hilton able to grab it and score. This is a team that doesn't pass all that much, and they get a touchdown on the board through the air.
Michaela Hilton, much bigger than the matchup she had out there. Number 9, Rebecca Airgood, taking full advantage of that mismatch to reel in the ball for another Detroit touchdown.
Sarah Monty on to attempt the extra points.
Monty is the kicker. Placement is there. Flag flies. The kick goes through the poles.
Extra point
But
is
let's
good.
see what the penalty is all about.
Flag on the play.
Illegal formation against Detroit.
Ball start against Detroit.
So they'll bring it back 5 yards.
Retry the extra points.
Detroit will try again with Saramati kicking. And she rockets this one through.
And the extra point is once
It
again
is
good.
now
No
21-14.
11:45
Pittsburgh's lead cut to 1 score again with 11:45 left here on Pittsburgh Passion TV.
Of note here, Chris, you know, the linebacker core for the Passion have really taken a hit in this game, because I've also noticed that Devin Connor, number 55, has not come in since the first half, and I believe the doctors seem to have been checking her out for a concussion and don't seem to have cleared her to go back in. Then you have Frankie Kilmer and Caitlin Niedermeyer, all studs of the defense, not on the field.
Jen, it's been a very physical ball game, to say the
Monty will
least.
kick. Rodriguez and Malarski are back to receive.
Here's the kick by Monty. It's going to be a roller downfield, and a couple of Passion players collide. Randy Polinick and Ellie Malarski. Malarski ends up with the football, fortunately, but there will be no return as Pittsburgh is pinned back at around the 16-yard line, close to the 17. Tansy in coverage on the kick team.
Smart strategic kick by the Detroit Dark Angels, causing chaos in the back half of the Pittsburgh Passion return team, to where they collide and juggle the ball, and Ellie Malarski ends up losing yardage on that.
Pittsburgh up by 1 score right now, and the momentum in this game has shifted a number of times tonight. Pittsburgh has maintained the lead. They haven't lost the lead at all tonight. They've had some rough sledding offensively and some low snaps, and there's another example of it. And here we go with a flag after a late hit, as Kia Foster didn't want to go down, and Detroit didn't want to stop trying to tackle her.
And it looks like it's number 12, Deanna Lenaway, linebacker out of Washington, Michigan. He's going to get charged with the infraction.
15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, you have to keep your head in games like this. You know, Detroit is right in this ball game. They're only down 1 touchdown, and again, both teams have been muscling each other. But you've got to be smart. You can't cost your club 15 yards like she just did.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be those mental mistakes that cost one of these teams the game.
There's Angela Baker getting the snap, giving off. Kia Foster with a full head of steam, chugs through the line and got anchored down at around the 32-yard line. That was a good hit that time by Sarah Kirkos.
Tackled by Diana Lenaway.
Pickup of about 4, second down and 6 for Pittsburgh. Malarski goes wide right, Meister to the left, slots on both sides. Kia Foster, the tailback position, comes out into a passing formation, set up on the left. Here's Baker, knocked down from behind, and they sack her.
First sack of the game for either team, and it looks like it was 35 Crystal Krepp who got to her.
Angela Baker has those eyes in the back of her head, Jen, and I know she feels the pressure, but that time, even trying to step up, they hit her hard, and Krepp with a great hit.
And you can just see it energize the Detroit sideline.
And a 4-receiver spread for Pittsburgh. Here comes Kozo sprinting in motion. Baker looking.
Kozo's open.
Baker. I thought twice she was going to throw it, decided to tuck it in both times, and she'll pick up just a short gain.
Rushed out of the pocket is twisted down at the 31 by Clarissa Tullis.
Clarissa Tullis again, the defensive player, bringing the ball carrier down.
4th down. Meister to punt.
Jana Meister will have to punt from inside the 20-yard line.
Cunningham back deep alongside Tullis.
Casey Cunningham is the punt returner. Meister gets the ball out of there, but it angles to the far side short. Gets an excellent Pittsburgh bounce. And it'll be down with no return by Lakeitha Barrett.
It really took a wildly positive Pittsburgh bounce, but still the Detroit Dark Angels are getting this ball midfield, and they've been proving their ability to move on this Passion defense that now has some of their star players injured on the sidelines.
Passion Cohen or Franco Harris shouting to the defense. Standing on the sideline just below our vantage point here in the press box. Franco's been cheering and shouting all night long. Encouragement, of course. Detroit, trailing 21-14, has the football just a half a field away from Pater. Huckins picked up a low snap, gave it off, and another big hard run and a 20-yard gain by Tatiana Pauling down to the 30.
Damon, who has to pick her up and bring her down, but not after another electrifying run.
First down and 10 from the 30. Talked about the momentum of this game shifting back and forth from time to time. Right now it seems to be in Detroit's corner, even though they're down 7.
Yeah, I mean, they are playing with fire in their bellies.
Pauling again, gets away from Damon this time. And bounces off a couple of Passion players and then bounces it to the outside. They say she stepped out at the 22-yard line, just shy of the sticks. Diamond Rodriguez come up to hit her, knock her off balance after an 8-yard gain.
Again, the first person to meet her as she comes out to the flat is Rebecca Airgood, who's just not able to manage the speed at which she's hit. She bounces off of Rebecca Airgood into the hands of Diamond Rodriguez, but not after picking up some substantial yardage.
Play fake. Huckins wants to throw again. This time it'll be incomplete, looking for Michaela Hilton.
Again, that's the tandem that got the last touchdown. Michaela Hilton, a defensive end, matched up against a much smaller Rebecca Airgood at the corner position. And you can see the bumping and the nudging that Hilton's tossing her weight around out there to try to get best position. It's just a poorly thrown ball, luckily for the Passion.
Pittsburgh fans, get loud for your defense.
21-14, Pittsburgh holding on to the lead with 7:31 to go in the football game. Detroit with the ball, 3rd down and 2 at the Pittsburgh 22. Here's Tatiana Pauling. Cuts upfield for the first down and drives all the way down to the 5-yard line. Tackled from behind by Tanisha Spencer to save the score, but put Pauling to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Detroit.
Passion having a really hard time just being able to deal with her athleticism and speed, and Tanisha Spencer just has to hop on her back.
Pittsburgh brings in the goal line defense. Samantha Simeon will play nose guard. Huckins will give to Gomes. Gomes doesn't want to go down. Finally does so at around the 1-yard line.
Brought down by most of the Passion defense. 2nd and goal.
A lot of bodies in that pile. It took a while to get everybody back up. Gomes with a hard charging run. 2nd down and goal to go. Huckins calling her own number and gets in for the touchdown.
Huckins is in for the Dark Angels touchdown.
The Dark Angels draw within a point of the Pittsburgh Passion with 5:53 left in the game, and an all-important point after touchdown coming up from the foot of Sarah Monty.
Sarah Monty will attempt the extra points.
Sarah Kirkos is the holder. Placement is down, kick is up, and it is good. We're tied at 21-all with 5:53 left in the game, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit, it just looks to be slicing and dicing the Passion defense now. With momentum on their side, energy on their side. Baker and her offensive squadron has to come out here and smack them back in the mouth, if for nothing else to deflate the sails a little bit.
Drive cover just 50 yards, and they did it with some lightning and some thunder. And they've tied the ball game up at 21. Banged up Passion Club just trying to hang on right now, and the game is tied for the first time since it was 0-0. And it continued to be 0-0 deep into the 2nd period of play tonight.
It was an unfamiliar position for the Passion, and this once again, this late into the 4th quarter, unfamiliar to be tied 21-21, especially with the team that they beat handily earlier this season, 35-16.
Monty will kick. Rodriguez and Malarski waiting back deep.
Pittsburgh needs to have a good return. That's something the special teams have kind of let them down tonight a bit. They've had some trouble handling kickoffs and punts. This one's going to be a line driver. And again, they're going to have trouble scooping it up. And finally, Brandy Polinick ends up with it, but this was after Kaylee Bowden had her knee down on the ground, and she picked it up and tried to hand it to her. So they're going to rule her down. Pittsburgh ends up with decent field position. They'll have it at their own 33-yard line, and they'll try to punch it right to left.
But it's like Groundhog Day, Chris. It's just sort of the same old. Nobody seems to be able to field the ball for the Pittsburgh Passion on these returns.
Angela Baker has Ariel Smith behind her. A 4-wide set, slots to both sides. As we see Pang go in motion to the right. And again, Baker mishandles the snap. Finds it, but she's all the way back to the 15. And she'll have to run out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
Unfortunately for her, she's too distracted by having to come up with that bobbled snap and then try to dodge the sea of white jerseys coming at her, but you have Jana Meister doing jumping jacks to let her know she's wide open. Again, these kick returns are a recurring thorn in the side, and these snaps are something that plagued them since game 1 against Cleveland, carrying forward into the second round of the playoffs.
Second down, 26 yards to go. The ball way back at the 16-yard line. Detroit is coming after Baker. She'll roll to the right. Winds up, throws long. Kozo downfield, but underthrown this time. Lisa Gomes was in on defense along with Casey Cunningham.
Kozo, protected by Clarissa Tullis. 3rd and long.
Game tied at 21, 5:08 left. One team gets to go to Golden, Colorado in mid-July to play for the National Championship, and obviously against St. Louis, the last time we checked, they were up 34-0 over Mile High.
The Passion fans asked to create a gold rush today in their gold t-shirts, gold jerseys, hoping to get to the gold rush state of Colorado.
3rd and 26. Blitz coming. Baker tries to step up and throw, and she can't do it. That wasn't Baker. That was Montgomery taking the snap that time. And she's sacked. The second sack of a Pittsburgh QB tonight. Ashley Andrews bagged her.
4th down and long.
Now the Passion will have to punt from deep in their own end, and Jana Meister's going to need to put her foot into this one.
Meister will punt. Cunningham back deep.
Meister's had trouble with her kick blockers tonight. They've been rushed hard, and she has been in some tight quarters. Let's hope she gets a clear lane to kick. And this one is nipped and tipped out of bounds. I'm even sorry I brought it up.
Hey, I mean,
at the 25. Detroit
that
1st and 10.
punt rush has been strong all night long, and you add a little pep in their step because they know that they are holding a strong team to a tie ball game right now, and they smell a chance to get to that championship game. That they didn't walk into this game with such swagger, but they're certainly walking to the line now with more swagger than we've ever seen.
The Dark Angels 7-2, the Passion 7-2, coming into the ball game tonight, this national semifinal. The losses by Detroit were to Pittsburgh, 35-16, as Jen told you, and by the Columbus Comets, who they lost to by a 40-16 tally. Now they're going to run Tatiana Poling again. She'll go to the left side, and she'll get tackled by Rodriguez.
Tatiana Poling runs from right to left.
Rodriguez and Airgood in on that tackle.
Airgood combine on the tackle. Gain of 2. 2nd and 8.
2-yard pickup by Tatiana Poling. 2nd down and 8 yards to go. But Detroit has the ball deep in Pittsburgh territory at the 23-yard line. Clock winds, 3:45 left in the ball game. We're tied up at 21. Slots to both sides now for Huckins. She'll give it to Poling. Poling runs away from the Pittsburgh defense, and finally she gets wrapped up and thrown down by Hannah Damon.
Get away from Hannah Damon.
She'll pick up about 2, close to 3 yards, but still Damon makes the stop and brings up 3rd down.
It brings up 3rd down.
Zubo, the first one to get into the backfield, but can't keep up with the speed, but gets her to redirect into Hannah Damon's arms. Hannah just too strong for her to escape from.
3 minutes, 4 seconds left.
Detroit.
And Detroit calls timeout. We're tied up 21-all. Chris Shovlin and Jen Cairns on the call. You're watching the national semifinal here in the WFA on Pittsburgh Passion TV. 3rd down and 6 for Detroit. 3:04 left in a tie game at 21-all. Here's Poling with a hole to the left. And Tatiana Poling will have a 1st down for the Detroit Dark Angels at the Pittsburgh 14-yard line.
That hole that opened up off the left tackle is just tremendous, and she doesn't need a hold that large, but she just flew through it well into the secondary of the Passion.
Detroit with a fresh set of downs. Pittsburgh trying to dig in and stop them. The Passion have not relinquished the lead tonight. They have led throughout. This is the first time since it was 0-0 that the game has been tied. Here's the give. It's Poling again, and Poling trying to run right, breaks a tackle, breaks another, and this time gets slid down at the 15-yard line. And a good, tough hit and bring down by Crystal Kozo, playing both sides of the football.
1 yard loss. 2nd down and 11 from the 15.
Poling doing what she's done all night, breaking free of those first defenders to reach her, but not being able to get past Crystal Kozo. Under 2 minutes now.
Huckins will spread the offense. Keep an eye on Michaela Hilton out wide to the left. Huckins looks, instead, she'll go to the post. It's caught by Gomes. Touchdown, Detroit. Their first lead of the night.
To Casey Cunningham for the 14-yard Detroit touchdown.
They have 2 touchdowns in the air, Chris, which I would have told you were not the more plausible way that they were going to get this job done.
Now the snap is mishandled, and the hold never took place.
No try on the extra point.
Kirkos couldn't put the hold down, and Detroit never gets its foot into the extra point kick, so the score will remain a 6-point lead for Detroit, 27-21, with 1:34 remaining in the game. Now, Jen, I need to not remind you about the craziness that we saw when Pittsburgh took on the DC Divas about a month ago on this field, where Pittsburgh had a late lead, but DC ended up winning the ball game at the 0 mark of time remaining.
Right. You know, and you know, that's the crack in the door, the daylight, you know, at the tunnel, with them not being able to get that point after attempt off, so that if Baker and her crew can move this ball down and score, go for 2 or try the extra point and win it for their team, they could do it in tremendous fashion to send themselves to the championship game. But right now they got to be focused on one play at a time, not let their emotions get the best of them.
Saramati is on to kick. And again, Pittsburgh has had special teams problems tonight. Wouldn't a good run back be a delight to see here? Bouncing ball, hit by Polinick. Malarski picks it up. Cuts over to the far side, now reverses field.
North-south.
And Malarski gets some blocks. Ellie Malarski to the near sideline. And Malarski run out of bounds at the 39.
Gets several blocks before being taken out of bounds at the 39.
Ellie Malarski ran.
For an injured player.
One of the kick coverage personnel for Detroit shaking up on the play, and they're working on her right now with 1:18 left in the football game. Detroit leading 27-21 over the Pittsburgh Passion. We'll take this time out. You're watching the national semifinals of the WFA on Pittsburgh Passion TV. Ashonda Tansey was the injured player. She hops back up and walks off on her own. Now, the Passion have just 1:18 remaining in the ball game. The ball is sitting just shy of the 39-yard line. Pittsburgh is 61 yards away from tying and possibly taking the lead. But they're going to have to do it in quick order. Angela Baker in the pistol. They drop off the rush. Baker rolls right, throws right. It'll be a reach out, but incomplete to Ellie Malarski.
Malarski was open, just an errant pass by Angela Baker.
Second down and 10.
It'll be second down and 10 for Pittsburgh. Incomplete pass does stop the clock. We have 1:13 to go, so they only ate 5 seconds. Meister and Payne to the left side. Malarski and Kozo to the right side. Ariel Smith, the tailback behind Angela Baker. Blitz coming from Detroit. Baker flushed. Somehow runs out of it. Angela Baker on her feet. Near side 50. And chucked out of bounds by Tullis. Clock stops with 1:03 to go in the fourth period of play, with Pittsburgh trailing by 6.
You said she had eyes in the back of her head, Chris, and she must have, because that pass rush was coming and was within hair's length of taking her down before she just decides to jet off. And she's been getting it done all night long with her legs.
First and 10, Pittsburgh. Ball sitting at the Detroit 47-yard line. 4 wide set. Baker throws from Meister. Too far. Incomplete. Good coverage by Danielle Kearse.
As she let go of the ball. Pass was incomplete. Looking for Meister. She was covered by Tullis and Kearse.
Brandy Polinick having to make a tough choice of which defender to pick up. Picks up the one flying at her from the right side, leaving Angela Baker with a face full of white jersey coming at her, and she just lets it loose.
Under a minute to go, 58 seconds to be precise. The incomplete pass stops the ticker. Second down and 10, Pittsburgh. It's Detroit 27, the Passion 21. Baker goes to the tight side of the field and throws a dart, and it's complete. Shanna Meister hops down, plants 2 feet, jumps out of bounds, stops the clock. First down, Pittsburgh.
Shanna Meister, great concentration, great field awareness. Goes up for a very athletic catch, gets both feet in bounds, and heads straight out of bounds to preserve that precious clock.
13-yard completion, 52 seconds left. Detroit leads by 6 over Pittsburgh. The Passion on the march at the 34-yard line of the Dark Angels. Malarski and Kozo both go right this time, with Payne over there with them. Meister is the single wide out to the left. First and 10, big blitz coming. Baker rolls to the right away from it. Throws a sidearm pass downfield for Kozo, past the stick, an 11-yard completion. First down, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh doing what they need to do, moving the ball smartly, quickly, methodically. I thought she got it, but...
Well, I did too. They're going to call it second down and short instead. Kozo must have been on the chalk line a little further upfield than I originally thought, so it'll be second down and short. Pittsburgh has it, though, 46 seconds left. And now Detroit apparently calls timeout.
Timeout.
That should be their last one. Spending it right now to give their defense a chance to regroup. Let Passion cool their jets.
Hopefully another crazy finish tonight in this ball game. We have 46 seconds left. Right now, Detroit has the 6-point advantage, 27-21. And people talk about it all the time, how valuable those points after touchdowns are. Pittsburgh went for 2 at one point in the game and then missed the next kick after a score. And how about Detroit making a mistake on their extra point kick the last time around, and it gave them only a 6-point lead. So Pittsburgh, if they can score, can not only tie the game, but take the lead and possibly win it.
They can, and they're most likely going to have to try to do it on the back of a 2-point conversion with Frankie Kilmer down, and not a lot of reps for Ashley McGowan.
Here's Angela Baker with a roll to the left, looking, throwing, caught downfield. Kozo, the birthday girl, making the snag. And the ball is at the 14-yard line, an 11-yard completion. Now it's a Passion first down with 40 seconds left.
And it looks like the defender on that play was number 4, Danielle Curse. A lot of the Detroit players are playing, of their stars, are playing both sides of the ball, just like the Passion.
Baker. Counter play. Ariel Smith all the way down to the 5.
Timeout.
There's that misdirection run play that Pittsburgh runs to perfection, and they did it again there. And they really opened up some big holes in the Detroit defense. And with 32 seconds to go, Pittsburgh has the ball, second down, 1 yard to go at the 5-yard line. And Detroit is going to talk it over while Pittsburgh tees up who knows what kind of play.
Who knows, but they are knocking on the door, and they have got to burst through that door. This is their championship game on the line. I know they want it more than anything. They certainly don't want to hand this game over to Detroit after they led it the majority of the time.
All right, let's see what Pittsburgh is drawing up. 32 seconds left, down 6. Detroit with a 27-21 advantage.
Oh, they have extra person.
Angela Baker will send Payne in motion to the right. Baker calls her own number. Stop and go move. And they grabbed Angela Baker by the shirt tail and dragged her down. This will be a loss.
And you understand what Angela Baker's trying to do. She's trying to get upfield, but at that
host of Dark Angels at the
point in the game when every second counts and you've got to cut your losses and run out of bounds.
It'll be third down.
Passion has 1 timeout left.
Well, they had to call this one here on a run play, and the loss to stop the clock. 24 seconds remain.
Oh, so they did. They just spent their last timeout.
Yep, nobody has a timeout left, so this is it. 24 seconds to go. It is third down and 4 yards to go. The Passion with the ball. They have it at the 8-yard line. They need to get it to the 4 just to get the first down, but only 24 seconds left. You're going to try to pound it the whole way if you can. Angela Baker behind the center. Rolling left. Sets up, throws to the goal line. It's caught by Gianna Meister. Touchdown, Pittsburgh!
What a tremendous play by Baker to Meister. I mean, she was tightly covered, and she threw that ball on a rope between Danielle Kirst, the defender's arm, straight into Gianna Meister's. Now, Chris, the critical point after attempt. I mean, this is just tying the game. They need to convert here.
Game tied at 27 all, 17 seconds left. Pittsburgh's kicker, Frankie Kilmer, was knocked out of the game earlier. The Passion will go for 2. Spread offense on the 2-point conversion attempt. Baker, 2-step drop, fires, end zone, no! And we are continually tied.
Yes, I mean, it was just a little too much oomph on that pass, sailing over Kozo's head.
We're tied at 27.
You know, this game has been one for the books of how long each quarter has taken, so overtime, I guess, is to be expected today.
So the 2-point conversion pass attempt fails. And the Passion and Detroit are tied up at 27 apiece. I guess we have to start pulling out the overtime rules
So,
in the Women's Football Alliance. I bet the officials have to do that too.
I'm sure this is not something that they've seen here for the Pittsburgh Passion in recent history.
Pittsburgh will kick off to Detroit. McGowan will send it downfield. And the return is taken back to the 45-yard line by Cunningham.
She's brought down by Tanisha Spencer.
Tanisha Spencer in on the
Detroit will take over.
stop
First
there.
and 10. Corner 45.
First down and 10, Detroit. 12 seconds left in regulation time. Well, the one thing you don't want them to do is score now. You need to get this into overtime. Hudkins using a spread offense. Play action fake, throws. It's intercepted by Rebecca Airgood. Airgood down the sideline. And she's knocked out of bounds, but the clock has hit 0.
Time has expired.
That was that close to being a pick 6.
Yeah, and what a tremendous end of the game that would have been, but nonetheless, Rebecca Airgood again on the mismatch, this time able to get the best body position and come down with the INT.
Penalty flag was on the field, and it is holding on the return of the interception. So Detroit declines it, and we are going to play some overtime football. Before we get there, we'll take a timeout. After regulation time has all been used. It is Pittsburgh 27, Detroit 27. We'll take this time out. This is the WFA National Semifinal game on Pittsburgh Passion TV.
Jen, we're headed to overtime. The Passion and Detroit are tied at 27 all. And Pittsburgh will get the ball, winning the coin toss. They decided to go on offense first, and they'll have it teed up at the Detroit 25-yard line.
Smart move to choose the ball to ride the momentum.
First and 10, Baker. He's going to run. 10. All the way down to the 4-yard line. Baker gets the first down for Pittsburgh.
Simeon slow to get up again.
Gives Pittsburgh a first and goal from the 5.
It has been a brutal night physically. Both these teams just playing hard-nosed football. First down and goal to go for Pittsburgh from the 4 in the overtime period. Who would have thought overtime would decide who from the East gets to go to Colorado in 2 weeks?
Not I. I thought it would be a strong defensive struggle, but I still thought the Pittsburgh Passion had the upper hand in this matchup.
Here's Baker. The give will go to Kia Foster. Foster popped down at the 2.
Follows her lead blocker on the right side. Brought down by Jackie
Bennington was there, along with Lenaway.
Gain of maybe 1. Second and goal from the 3.
I'm going to spot the football at the 3-yard line, so that's a 1-yard gain. It'll be second down and goal to go for Pittsburgh from there. Baker gives to Ariel Smith, and Smith can't find much room.
It's down at the 3.
Keontae Carter was there on the initial hit. No gain for Pittsburgh. It is third down and goal to go from the 3-yard line.
Both these teams fatigued, but you're just not seeing the surge that you're used to seeing on those front 5.
Make a correction, it was second down. There was a penalty on the play prior. And now Angela Baker somehow springs loose and gets into the end zone for a Pittsburgh touchdown from 3 yards away.
You got an injury timeout.
They're going to go for 2.
One of the Dark Angels shaken up on the touchdown run by Angela Baker that put the Passion ahead 33-27. And again, let's remember that the Passion place kicker, Frankie Kilmer, was knocked out of the ball game earlier with a knee injury.
Don't see anyone warming up their legs, so they're obviously going for 2, Chris.
And McGowan is the backup kicker, but Jen, as you said a couple of times during the ball game when we've had to talk about place kicking, she hasn't had that many reps at that spot this year. She is the long kickoff kicker, but Frankie Kilmer has been doing most of the place kicking. So the offense will head out there for the 2-point conversion try. It's a 33-27 Pittsburgh lead. Baker gives off, or does she? No, she fakes it to Smith. She still has it. Throws for the end zone, and it's incomplete in the back of the end zone.
It's a critical incompletion because the point afters for the Detroit Dark Angels have been pretty solid. So if they score, they have a far more short up kick game with their place kicker. But for that bobbled snap, when she connects, it's gone through the uprights every time.
So now the Passion will go on defense and try to stop Detroit. They'll get the ball at the 25-yard line. Both teams using the same end zone for the overtime period. The Passion players imploring the fans to get loud. It's past a lot of people's bedtime.
It is. It's coming up on midnight, Chris. 11:30.
Detroit on offense. There she goes again. All night long we've seen Tatiana Pauling run that football with a hard head of steam. She'll get all the way down to the 15-yard line, and that's a Detroit first down. First and 10, Dark Angels. Remember, they have to score a touchdown. Field goal, because Pittsburgh scored a TD in its possession, does them no good. Huckins. Pauling again. And they're going to ride her down inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line.
Should Pittsburgh lose this game, Chris, this will be the first time Detroit has ever knocked off Pittsburgh. So that's why you've seen the enthusiasm and excitement on their sideline, because it's not just getting them to the championship game, it's finally slaying that dragon that is the Pittsburgh Passion to them.
Second down and 4 for Detroit, the ball sitting at the 9. Tatiana Pauling is lined up. Off to the right shoulder of Huckins, the quarterback. They give it to her again. They open up a hole, and Pauling goes down inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. That will be another Detroit first down, and they have a fresh set of downs now with which to work. We're in the overtime period. Pittsburgh scored on a touchdown first. Put it up, Passion 33-27. And Detroit has possession right now. They need to score a touchdown. If they do that and get a point after or a 2-point conversion, the game is over and they get to go to Golden, Colorado in 2 weeks to play for the national championship against St. Louis. Pittsburgh's got to stop them. Pauling. Touchdown. Tie game again at 33-all.
The Dark Angels touchdown.
Pittsburgh has called a timeout here in the overtime period. Trying to give the kicker some extra time to think about this.
Whatever you can do.
The game is on the line. We're tied at 33. Detroit has just scored. Pittsburgh, after scoring in the overtime first, missed the 2-point conversion pass. Detroit is going to go for the win here on Sarabati's foot. Snap, placement, kick is on its way. It is good. Detroit wins in overtime and upsets the Passion in Pittsburgh tonight. The Dark Angels advance to the national championship game in Golden, Colorado in mid-July to take on the St. Louis Slam. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the way you want to see the Pittsburgh Passion season end, especially as they were in command of this game, up 21-7 for a large part of this game, and then key injuries to Kilmer, Niedermeyer, and Connor left them vulnerable, and Detroit capitalized on that vulnerability. And it's Detroit, not Pittsburgh, headed to the ship.
Another great season of Pittsburgh Passion football, but it comes to end here tonight. A loss to Detroit in the national semifinal game by a final score of 34-33. Pittsburgh finishes the season with a record of 7-3. Detroit advances its record to 8-2, and they will take on the St. Louis Slam. The winner of the other national semifinal tonight at the Colorado School of Mines Stadium in Golden, Colorado on July 13th. With Jennifer Cairns, Chris Shovlin. Stay tuned. We'll have a final recap of the game and the season coming up next right here on Pittsburgh Passion TV. Well, what can we say? We've seen some fantastic finishes go both ways on this football field this year, and we've seen them go Pittsburgh's way in the past. So many injuries, such a physical game. It was just tough to overcome all the problems that they ran into tonight.
Yeah, I mean, when they're up with that 21-7 lead, then they lose 3 key linebackers in Connor, Kilmer, and Niedermeyer, and that really seems to have been the tipping point of the game, that the Detroit Dark Angels just kept chipping away, and Passion made a valiant effort in the end, but without that place kicker to put one through the uprights, they fall short tonight.
And Jen, how many times have we heard in any level of football how important special teams is? And tonight it was a proven point again. Pittsburgh doesn't get to go to the championship game because of an extra point that Detroit got, and they ended up winning the game.
Yeah, it's that critical third facet of the game. I mean, there were troubles all night long with being able to field punt returns and kickoff returns, and that was a setback for them today. But they'll regroup. This will be one that stings for a little while, but they'll wish their colleagues well in Colorado.
Absolutely. Can't say enough about Tatiana Pauling, the way she ran the football tonight. She gave Pittsburgh fits, and obviously we wish them best of luck on their visit to Golden, Colorado for the championship game. They'll take on St. Louis in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, St. Louis is going to have their hands full with her. She's a tough runner. She's a fast runner, and she's got that front line that just opens wide, gaping holes for her. So good luck, Detroit.
All right, Detroit finishes, at least here tonight, at 8-2. They take on St. Louis in the national championship game of the WFA's Division II. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh will finish the season 7-3. Another great year for the Pittsburgh Passion, though, as this franchise continues to grow and build, and just a lot of fun for the ladies.
And they did it off the back of a lot of rookies this year, so you got to believe that those rookies have grown leaps and bounds not only through the season, but for how it's ended, and they'll come back stronger next year.
And give a lot of credit to Angela Baker for stepping in to play quarterback almost the entire football season this year.
Absolutely, and she did it under the leadership and tutelage of Teresa Kahn and Lisa Horton, and then you know, it's a wonderful family here, and so we say thank you to them as well.
All right, we say thank you for watching Pittsburgh Passion football all season long. Jen, it's always a pleasure being with you.
Likewise.
Honored to be here with you. I'm Chris Shovlin. Thank you so much for joining us all season here on Pittsburgh Passion TV.